Chapter 101, Goodbye Shrek. Half an hour later, the four finished breakfast and headed to the Douluo Royal Academy Committee. After all, they were leaving for quite some time, so they needed to report to the Education Committee. When they arrived, they happened to see the Shrek Academy group, who had also come to the Douluo Royal Academy to meet the Education Committee. Haha, Ning Chuan, Rongrong and Zhuking, we meet again. Regarding what happened last time, the Dean made you suffer. On behalf of Shrek Academy, I apologize to you. How about it, do you want to come back? Seeing the three, Flender immediately came forward, and Zhao Wuji, Lai Yusong, and other Shrek teachers also had smiles on their faces. Ning Chuan nodded slightly in acknowledgement but did not reply. Oscar also came forward, but he walked towards Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, long time no see. I didn't expect that we would meet again. It's truly fate. Scram. Ning Rongrong coldly uttered a single word, directly blocking Oscar's next words. Tang San, Dai Mubai and Yu Xirogang. One looked at Ning Chuan with eyes full of fighting spirit, one looked at Ning Chuan and Zhuking with eyes full of resentment, and one looked at Ning Chuan with eyes filled with subtle envy and jealousy. Ma Hongjun seemed afraid that Ning Chuan knew he had spoken ill of him in front of Tang San, so he timidly hid behind Flender, not daring to speak. Little did he know, Xiao Wu had already told Ning Chuan, so Ning Chuan naturally wouldn't give him a good look. As for Xiao Wu, her gaze towards Ning Chuan was as doting as ever. From their reactions, it was not difficult to see the complex feelings of the Shrek Academy group upon seeing Ning Chuan again. Grandmaster Meng Shenji, the chief of the Douluo Royal Academy Committee, said somewhat unexpectedly, "What, Dean Flender, you knew each other before?" Flender laughed heartily. Haha, to be honest, Ning Chuan, as well as Zhuking and Ning Rongrong, these three little freaks, all came from our Shrek Academy. Upon hearing this, the Education Committee immediately became more interested in Shrek Academy. Bai Baoshan, the vice chief of the Douluo Royal Academy Committee, confirmed, Ning Chuan, is this true? Ning Chuan nodded, yes, I stayed at Shrek for 3 months. Ning Rongrong, unable to stand Flender's demeanor, added, then we found it too bad, so we left. As soon as these words fell, the Shrek Academy group fell into extreme embarrassment. At the crucial moment, Qin Ming took the initiative to change the subject. Ning Chuan, why are you here to see the Education Committee? Ning Chuan nodded. Yes, I plan to take Zhuking, Rongrong, and Yi Lingaling to travel the continent for a while and return when the Soul Master competition is about to begin. Traveling so young, Yu Xirogang expertly hid his jealousy and spoke what he considered to be good advice for them. Traveling is certainly a good thing, but you are still too young and your cultivation is not enough. The dangers of the Spirit Master's world are beyond your imagination. I suggest it's not too late to travel after advancing to Spirit Ancestor or even Spirit King. Then how did Grandmaster train back then, and how did he survive with a cultivation below Spirit Elder and then earn the title of Golden Triangle? Ning Chuan asked back instead of answering. Yu Xirogang really wanted to answer that he relied on wisdom, but after seeing Tang San nearby, he quickly shut his mouth. He could bet that if he dared to say that, Ning Chuan would definitely expose the fact that he taught Tang San the spirit side effects. At that time, he would lose all face in front of the Douluo Royal Academy's Education Committee. Since that's the case, then you must pay attention to safety when you are out and about. Bai Baoshan, however, was very confident in Ning Chuan. As the holder of the Heaven Star Furnace Spirit, he was well aware of how powerful Ning Chuan's Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword Spirit was. He was very clear. This was a spirit powerful enough to rival the 7-kill sword and the Clear Sky Hammer, not to mention that Ning Chuan also possessed 2,000-year spirit rings, and his own strength far surpassed spirit masters of the same level. Not to mention a spirit ancestor, even a spirit king might not be able to defeat him, so he was very confident in Ning Chuan. With his decision, the other 2 committee members also did not object. Just as Ning Chuan and the others were about to leave, footsteps suddenly came from outside. A Grandmaster Meng Shenji, Bai Baoshan and Zhai Lin, the Education Committee, here. Before the person arrived, their voice already came from outside. Although the person's voice was loud, there was a sense of urgency in their tone. The education committee were stunned. They naturally recognized this as Prince Xuzing. While wondering why he had come, they also quickly stood up and went out to greet him. Soon, two people walked in from outside. One of them was Xu King, played by Qian Renxiu, and the other was none other than Prince Xuzing. The education committee were part of Crown Prince Xu King's faction, so they naturally knew that the two were at odds. For two people who were at odds to arrive at the same time, something significant must have happened. Your Royal Highness and Prince Xuzing, what happened? Grandmaster Meng Shenji asked. Qian Renxiu spoke directly. The Heavendu royal family's guest elder, Poison Douluo Senior, has gone missing. Missing? The education committee were all astonished. Not to mention them, even the Shrek Academy group, Yi Lingaling, and even Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong showed surprised expressions. One must know that this was a titled Douluo, so how could he disappear without a trace? He has indeed gone missing. This king used every means yesterday and could not contact Mr. Dugu. In the end, I even sent people to his residence to search, but no one responded. Is Mr. Dugu's granddaughter Douluo Yan here? See if she can contact him. Subscribe for more novel audiobooks books like Thumbs Up Comment Speech Balloon, Share Bell Infinite Novel Audio. Prince Xuzing was anxious. One must know that Douluo Bao was not only the Heavendu royal family's only titled Douluo guest elder, but also his biggest backer. Now that his backer was gone, he was more anxious than anyone. Therefore, he immediately went to the palace to inform Zhu Yi. Upon hearing the news, Zhu Yi immediately had Xu King and Xuzing come together to search. Ning Chuan chuckled inwardly upon hearing this. It would be a miracle if you could find old Poison. He has already become nourishment for the evolution of the devouring gold bugs. Yi Lingaling, standing beside Ning Chuan, replied, Yan Yan returned to find her grandfather a month ago. What exactly is going on? Xuzing frowned. Ning Chuan took over the conversation. Let me explain. That day, after the royal fight group returned from their soul hunt, Zhuqing Ning Rongrong, the daughter of Sect Master Ning of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, and I were arranged into the Heavendu Royal Academy and met Douluo Yan. Because Rongrong had previously seen Tang San of Shrek Academy under the guidance of his teacher Yu Zairogang, she absorbed 3 poison attribute spirit rings, which led to extremely severe spirit side effects, causing her to have diarrhea all day, which reminded her of Douluo Yan, who also had 3 poison attribute spirit rings attached. Chapter 102. Douluo Bao was killed by Tang Hao. Then I also took a look and found that Douluo Yan's hair color and pupils seemed a bit off, like symptoms of poisoning, so I mentioned it. Everyone suggested she go back to Poison Douluo Senior to get a clear understanding, and after that, I never saw her again. We all thought Poison Douluo Senior was helping her detoxify, but we didn't expect Poison Douluo Senior to go missing. Ning Chuan's words were truly sincere and heartfelt. Look closely. If you didn't know, you'd think our Ning was incredibly concerned about Douluo Yan. However, these words undoubtedly plunged Yu Zairogang into immense social embarrassment. Even Tang San's face twisted instantly. It was only because his face was dark enough that, in the backlight, it was difficult to see his features. Otherwise, you would definitely see how terrible Tang San's expression was. Everyone, including the education committee, looked at Yu Zairogang strangely, then turned to Tang San. Qian Renxiu and Prince Xuzing were no exception. Both had astonished expressions on their faces, especially Prince Xuzing, although he didn't know Yu Zairogang and Tang San. But following everyone's gaze, he knew who they were. Prince Xuzing snorted coldly. Grandmaster Meng Shenji by Baoshan Jilin, look at the kind of people you've recruited. Don't tell me you intend to let a swindler like this be a teacher at our Heavendu Royal Academy. This. The education committee also didn't know how to answer, as they hadn't known about such a thing. As for Yu Zairogang, the person involved, he lowered his head, wishing he could find a hole to crawl into. At this moment, heaven knew how much he wanted to run away. At the same time, how much he wished someone would stand up for him, how much he wished Tang San would stand up and refute everyone, saying his theories were not wrong. Unfortunately, there was no one. First, Zhao Wuji and the other Shrek teachers had no good impression of this grandmaster, who had low cultivation, high ambitions but little ability and was unlearned. Then there was Flender. He did want to stand up for Yu Xiaogang, but with the facts laid bare, he was powerless. As for Tang San, he hated Ning Chuan for exposing his shortcomings, but he hated Yu Xiaogang even more. At this moment, if he hadn't once taken Yu Xiaogang as his teacher, and if he wasn't a person who respected his teachers, Yu Xiaogang might have already found a way to die. Just then, Caiyan Renxiu spoke. "All right, Imperial Uncle, let's put these trivial matters aside for now. The urgent matter at hand is Poison Douluo Senior's safety. Ning Chuan, are you saying that Mr. Douluo is very likely poisoned as well?" To be honest, Caiyan Renxiu was also curious about what happened to Douluo Bo, but if he died, it would be good, saving her the trouble of him constantly opposing Zhu Xing and her. If it were in the past, Prince Zhu Xing would certainly not mind using this as an excuse to drive away the Shrek people. But now the truly important matter was Douluo Bo, the whereabouts of the Heavendu royal family's only titled Douluo guest elder. He snorted lightly, also looking at Ning Chuan, waiting for his reply. Ning Chuan said, "If Poison Douluo Senior Douluo Bo's hair color and eyes are as rumored green, then it's almost certain. After all, this is a hair color and pupil color never seen on the continent." At the same time, Douluo Yan's pupils are also green, and her hair is dark purple, tending to turn green. If I'm not mistaken, Poison Douluo Senior's original hair color shouldn't have been like this. If that's truly the case, then Douluo Yan is probably in grave danger, because once Poison Douluo Senior's toxins erupt, not only Douluo Yan, but perhaps even an area of 1,000 meters will become barren land, perpetually enveloped by poisonous mist. Of course, all of this is just my speculation. It's also possible that Poison Douluo Senior is fine and just took Douluo Yan out to search for a detoxification method. "Can't you detoxify?" Prince Zhu Xing looked at Ning Chuan and asked. Ning Chuan shook his head and said, "I've only read a few more books, so I understand more about spirit and spirit rings than ordinary people. As for detoxification, I know nothing." Speaking of this, he seemed to think of something and looked at Tang San, saying, "Oh right, I heard Douluo Yan say before that Tang San seemed to have broken her snake venom in Soto City. Tang San, did Poison Douluo Senior look for you?" "I have never seen any Douluo Bo," Tang San replied indifferently. The Shrek people, however, grew suspicious because they all knew Tang San had an extremely powerful father. If Poison Douluo had attacked Tang San while he was heavily poisoned, it was possible he could have been killed by Tang San's father. Ning Chuan gave Xiao Wu a look, and Xiao Wu instantly understood, saying in an extremely exaggerated tone, "Third brother, do you think it's possible your father did it?" "My father?" Tang San's eyes showed surprise. "Boy, who is your father?" Zhu Xing seemed to grasp the key point. Xiao Wu answered for Tang San, "My third brother is named Tang San, not some boy. His father's name is Tang Hao. How about that, scared now?" At this moment, Xiao Wu seemed to return to her former fearless self, as if she feared nothing and loved to stir up trouble. "Tang Hao, Clear Sky Douluo." The Education Committee exclaimed in unison. And indeed, if Douluo Bo had tried to attack Tang San, he really might have been killed by Tang Hao. After all, Tang Hao's past achievements were well known. He severely wounded the previous Supreme Pontiff, who later died of his injuries. He killed one and wounded another of the two Douluo who were the Supreme Pontiff's personal guards, and among these three, any one of them was stronger than Douluo Bo. Zhu Xing's complexion, however, instantly turned particularly ugly. As for Caiyan Renxiu, her eyes also narrowed slightly, looking thoughtful. "Boy, is your father really Clear Sky Douluo?" Zhu Xing questioned Tang San. If the other party was truly the son of Clear Sky Douluo, then he could only swallow his bitterness in silence. As for Douluo Bo, he was most likely gone. Tang San didn't know who Clear Sky Douluo was, but his father was indeed an extremely powerful spirit master. At this moment, Yu Xiaogang seemed to grasp at a lifeline to mend his mentorship with Tang San, actively stepping forward to answer for Tang San. "That's right, little San is the son of Clear Sky Douluo." "Teacher." Tang San looked at Yu Xiaogang in confusion. After several months, Yu Xiaogang heard Tang San call him teacher again and couldn't help but shed tears of old age. He said softly, "I'll tell you about your father later, but little San's father is indeed Clear Sky Douluo. Flender can testify." The last sentence was directed at Zhu Xing. Hearing Yu Xiaogang call him, Flender also stepped forward and confirmed, "That's right, Tang San's father is indeed Clear Sky Douluo. When Tang San first enrolled in Shrek, he privately sought me and Vice Dean Zhao Wuji." Upon hearing this, the Shrek people, and even Zhu King and Rongrong, finally recalled Zhao Wuji's miserable appearance back then, so he was beaten by Tang San's father. And Zhu Xing, like a deflated ball, said nothing more, didn't even call Zhu King, and turned to leave Heavendu Royal Academy. Chapter 103, Cultivating Relationships. Kaian Renxiu said, "Education Committee, Ning Chuan, and everyone else, Snow Brother still needs to inform his father about this matter, so he will take his leave first. Farewell, Crown Prince." Everyone respected the Crown Prince, even the Shrek members were no exception. After all, from the moment he entered, he had been humble and polite, unlike Zhu Xing, who was aggressive. Ning Chuan and his 3 companions followed Kaian Renxiu. Ning Chuan walked side by side with him. Kaian Renxiu said with some surprise, "What, Ning Chuan, are you planning to go out?" Ning Chuan nodded and said, "Yes, the Heavendu Royal Academy's curriculum is no longer very useful to me. I plan to go out and gain some experience for a while and return when the Soul Master competition is about to begin." Zhu King, Rongrong, and Lingling also have this intention. "Oh, so that's how it is. Then Ning Chuan, you are indeed quite lucky with women." Kaian Renxiu glanced at Zhu King and the other 2, then looked at Ning Chuan with a half-smile, appearing admiring and envious on the surface, but inwardly cursing him endlessly. He truly is a playboy. First, there was this young girl from the Zhu family of the Star Luo Empire, then Ning Rongrong from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, and now he's even hooked up with Yilingling, the successor of the 9 Heart Begonia. "Crown Prince, you exaggerate. I only have Zhu King as a girlfriend." "Lingling and Rongrong are only coming along because they are friends with Zhu King," Ning Chuan said. "Liar," Kaian Renxiu muttered inwardly, but on the surface he remained calm, still maintaining his humble and gentlemanly demeanor, and said gently, "Ning Chuan, how many times have I told you there's no need to call me Crown Prince? We can just call each other brothers." "That's what I was waiting for." Ning Chuan's lips curved into a smile, and he directly put his arm around Kaian Renxiu's shoulder. He clearly felt Kaian Renxiu's body stiffen for a moment, then instantly relax again. Ning Chuan acted as if he hadn't noticed and said casually, "I almost forgot, that's really a sin. Sorry, Snow Brother, among us good brothers, we always put our arms around each other's shoulders." "You don't mind, do you?" "Of course." Kaian Renxiu still maintained that gentle smile, but inwardly he was gritting his teeth in anger. This scoundrel, the last time was bad enough, but this time he dared to take advantage of her again. He truly doesn't know how to write the word death. "Never mind, I've endured so many years of hardship. It's more important to first clarify Douluo's matter. After that, I'll spread the news that Douluo was killed by Tang Hao. That way, I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Of course, even if it wasn't Tang Hao who killed him, Kaian Renxiu would make it seem like Tang Hao did. As for Ning Chuan, she would beat him to death sooner or later for repeatedly taking advantage of her." Ning Chuan didn't know what Kaian Renxiu was thinking, and even if he did, he wouldn't care because he was sure that the other party would endure it. Just like that, the 2 walked arm in arm like good brothers and left Heavendu Royal Academy together. This caused the people of Heavendu Royal Academy to turn their heads and stop to watch. One called him Snow Brother, and the other called him Ning Chuan. During this time, Ning Chuan also intentionally or unintentionally brought up the matter of Zhu Beng being kicked in the crotch by Dai Mubai yesterday. Kaian Renxiu listened and seemed to be deep in thought. Before long, rumors spread throughout Heavendu Royal Academy that Ning Chuan and Crown Prince Zhu King were good brothers, and that Douluo had tried to attack Tang San and was killed by Tang Hao. Of course, these all happened after Ning Chuan left. Heavendu Royal Academy is located in the north-central part of the Heavendu Empire, only about 20 li from Heavendu City. However, it is quite far from Nuoding City. There are more than a dozen cities in between, 7 of which are major cities with a Soul Master competition arena. Ning Chuan was in a hurry to travel. Although he had already decided to give Yilingaling an immortal herb, cultivating a relationship with Yilingaling was definitely essential, killing 2 birds with 1 stone after all. So, almost every time they arrived at a major city, Ning Chuan would take the 3 girls to the Soul Master competition. Ning Chuan and Yilingaling formed the Chuan Ling team, while Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong formed the Cat Tower team, each participating in 2-on-2 Soul Master competition. Then Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Chuan would also have an additional 1-on-1 Soul Master competition. They stayed in each city for 3 days. They cultivated during the day and participated in Soul Master competition at night. In this way, what should have been a journey of only about 10 days took Ning Chuan and his group more than a month to finally arrive. Ning Chuan had originally thought that Yilingaling would not be able to persevere, but in terms of stubbornness, she was no less than Little Cat. Even if she couldn't keep up, she would grit her teeth and follow. And Ning Chuan would also give her comfort and encouragement, just as he had done with Ning Rongrong before. The benefit of this was that Yilingaling completely integrated into Ning Chuan's group. Whenever Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong were injured from Soul Master competition or cultivation, Yilingaling would help with the treatment, and Ning Chuan would sometimes intentionally get injured, not binding the big scapegoat to transfer the side effects, and let Yilingaling treat him. Then he would generously teach her Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track, Purple Demon Eye, and Controlling Crane Catching Dragon. In this way, the 4 of them ate together, lived together, and cultivated together every day. Aside from not sleeping in the same bed, they were together almost all the time. After more than a month, even Yilingaling, this ice mountain, was influenced by Ning Chuan. She gradually melted, and at this time the 4 of them finally arrived at Nuoding City. More than half a year later, Ning Chuan returned to Nuoding City, and everything around him felt so familiar. And his spirit power had increased from level 33 when he left to level 36, not far from level 37. But he still missed everything around him immensely. After all, it was the place where he had lived for 6 years. Not just the environment, but also the teacher who was best to him and had the greatest influence on him. All along, Ning Chuan had viewed everything in the Douluo Continent from a god's perspective. It was Louise's selfless love for him that filled the void in his heart, allowing him to integrate into this world and become a part of it. Ning Chuan led Zhu Zhuqing, Yilingaling, and Ning Rongrong into the city. The 4 of them were all handsome men and beautiful women, which immediately attracted a lot of attention. Ning Chuan finally stopped walking when they reached the entrance of Nuoding Academy. The doorman obviously recognized Ning Chuan. After all, he was head teacher Louise's disciple. No, he should be called Vice Principal Louise now. It is rumored that the principal intends to hand over the position of principal to Louise after his retirement. Therefore, the 4 of them entered Nuoding Academy with almost no obstruction. And once inside Nuoding Academy, even more people recognized Ning Chuan, especially the teachers. Ning Chuan had practically sparred with every one of them, so the impression was unforgettable. While looking around at everything, Zhu Zhuqing asked curiously, "Ning Chuan, is this where you grew up?" "Yes, I'll take you to see my teacher first," Zhu Zhuqing hummed softly. After all, it was her first time meeting the family, so she couldn't help but feel a little nervous and anxious. Ning Rongrong and Yilingaling, on the other hand, were full of curiosity about Ning Chuan's teacher. What kind of grandmaster could possibly teach such an excellent student like Ning Chuan? A moment later, Ning Chuan arrived at the head teacher's office. Learning that Louise had already been promoted to vice principal, he then took the 3 girls to the vice principal's office, where they finally met Louise. Chapter 104. Goodbye Louise. She wore a dark red female spirit master suit, with her hair neatly tied up in a bun. Her delicate face had a suitable light makeup. Her slender calves peeked out slightly from under her skirt, revealing small, delicate feet that could be held in one hand, and most importantly, there was the proud chest that was even fuller and more magnificent than Little Cat's. The moment they saw Louise, Little Cat, Ning Rongrong, and Yilingaling were all stunned. No one had expected that Ning Chuan's teacher would be such a sexy and mature beauty. Teacher, seeing Louise again, Ning Chuan felt an impulse to pounce on her and ravage her. Although this impulse was not new, it was stronger than ever this time. Fortunately, he held back and called out softly. Hearing his familiar voice, Louise immediately rose in pleasant surprise to greet him, exclaiming, "Xiaochuan, didn't you go to that Shrek Academy? Why do you have time to come over? And you even brought back a few little wives." As she spoke, Louise meaningfully looked at Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Yilingaling. Upon hearing this, Yilingaling was fine, but Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong immediately blushed. Ning Chuan smiled and explained, "I don't have such great ability. This is Yilingaling, the successor of the 9-heart begonia family. This is Ning Rongrong, the young miss of the 7-treasure glazed tile school. This is Zhu Zhuqing, and she is also my girlfriend. Lingaling and Rongrong are both my friends. This time they came with me." Subscribe for more novel audiobooks, books like Thumbs Up, Comment, Speech Balloon, share Bell Infinite Novel Audio. After listening to Ning Chuan's words, Louise couldn't help but be a little surprised. Given her age, it was not difficult for her to see that Ning Rongrong had a certain affection for Ning Chuan. There was even less need to mention the young girl named Zhu Zhuqing. She just didn't expect that their backgrounds were bigger than the last, and that even the 9-heart begonia and 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda had appeared. Ning Chuan continued to introduce, "Zhuqing, Rongrong, Lingaling, let me introduce you. This is my teacher, Louise. Hello, Senior Louise." Upon hearing this, the 3 girls, Zhu Zhuqing, rushed forward to greet her and bowed. Louise smiled and said, "I'm not a senior at all, just an ordinary teacher at a junior spirit master academy with mediocre talent. In the future, you can just call me Big Sister." When this guy Xiaochuan first met me, that's what he called me. And don't let his proper appearance fool you. When we first met, he was only 6 years old but already dared to touch a girl's bottom. Yes, after becoming a disciple, Ning Chuan spent some time with Louise and, realizing that she genuinely cared for him, he voluntarily admitted his mistake and confessed to touching her bottom back then. Although Louise didn't blame him, she would occasionally bring it up to tease him. Hearing this, the 3 girls looked at Ning Chuan with surprise, never expecting that Ning Chuan, who was almost perfect in their eyes, would have such a side. Cough. Ning Chuan awkwardly cleared his throat and changed the subject. "Teacher, please quickly arrange a quiet place for us, preferably somewhere we can seclude ourselves without disturbance. I came here this time because I have something to give you." Louise said, "It's inconvenient with people coming and going at Douluo City Academy. Let's go to our family instead. My father hasn't seen you for a while. The last time I went home, he was mentioning you. That's perfect. I also have a gift to give him." Ning Chuan smiled. It was time for him to repay the Dark Fragrance Sword family who had cultivated him so well. The secluded location of the Dark Fragrance Sword family was on a myriad blade peak behind a village about 300 li south of Douluo City. It was very secretive, and few people usually went there, even fewer knew about it. In the evening, the 3 successfully arrived. They used a special hanging basket to ascend to the summit of Myriad Blade Peak. Led by Ning Chuan, Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Yilingaling arrived at Louise's residence. Louise went to inform her father. It wasn't long before Louise's father, who had learned of Ning Chuan's return, rushed over. Before he even arrived, his voice could be heard from afar. "Ning Chuan, you're finally back. Come, let this old man test if your swordsmanship has regressed." Louise's father's name was Lu Jiansheng. At first glance, this name sounded like a very proper, scholarly person. In reality, it was quite the opposite. He was just a rather uninhibited old man. Over 80 years old, perhaps due to his potential being exhausted, his spirit power had been stuck at 89th rank for 7 or 8 years without any signs of improvement. Without any surprises, he would, like Louise's deceased grandfather, be stuck at 89th rank, unable to advance an inch. Louise reminded him, "Father, we have guests." As she spoke, Louise introduced Zhu Zhuqing and the other two to her father. Upon learning that Ning Chuan had a girlfriend, the old man immediately showed a dejected expression. He could tell that his daughter had different feelings for this disciple, and he had been thinking of having Ning Chuan as his son-in-law when he grew up. Now it seemed that this was destined to be unrealizable. However, he was only dejected for a moment before he immediately recovered his spirits. He put his arm around Ning Chuan's shoulder and said, "My precious daughter told me that you brought me a gift and can help me break through my bottleneck. Hurry up and take it out." Ning Chuan smiled faintly. Under the curious gaze of everyone, he reached into his Kaian-kun bag at his waist and took out the 9-petal purple Ganoderma. "What is this? Ganoderma lucidum?" Lu Jiansheng asked with some surprise. Ning Chuan explained. "This is an immortal herb called 9-petal purple Ganoderma. I won't go into too much detail about its specific effects. You just need to know that it can help you strengthen your foundation and provide an opportunity to break through the 90th rank bottleneck." "Can this really help me break through to the 90th rank?" Lu Jiansheng's emotions immediately became extremely agitated. It was no wonder he was so emotional. The dark fragrance sword family, almost 9 out of 10 generations of patriarchs, were stuck at the 80-something rank and could not advance. Very few could reach the 89th rank, let alone break through to the 90th rank. And once one breaks through to the 90th rank, it is not just about becoming a titled Douluo revered by thousands. It also greatly increases one's lifespan. Thus, one would not die of old age after 100 years due to exhaustion of lifespan. If it were just a spirit Douluo who had just broken through to the 89th rank, it would certainly be a bit less effective, but Senior Lu, you have been stuck at the 89th rank for 7 or 8 years. With 7 or 8 years of accumulation, plus the 9-petal purple Ganoderma, there should be great hope of breaking through the 90th rank bottleneck. Ning Chuan did not make his words too absolute. Upon hearing this, Lu Jiansheng carefully took the 9-petal purple Ganoderma that Ning Chuan handed to him and looked deeply at Ning Chuan. "Ning, a great kindness needs no words of thanks. No matter the outcome, you are my benefactor, Lu Jiansheng." Ning Chuan said, "Please don't say that. Without the cultivation of my teacher and senior, I wouldn't be where I am today." Lu Jiansheng said no more. After asking about the method of consumption, he plucked the Ganoderma, swallowed it whole, and immediately went to a corner to begin refining it. Ever since breaking through to the 89th rank, the 90th rank bottleneck had been troubling him. He had even reached the point of almost giving up. Now that he had an opportunity to break through, he couldn't wait to start. And since this was the core area of the dark fragrance sword family, he wasn't worried about being disturbed. "Teacher, this is for you." Ning Chuan took out the 10,000-year ginseng king. Chapter 105. Distributing the immortal herb. Looking at the bright immortal herb in front of her, Louise didn't take it. Instead, she asked a question similar to Zhu Zhuqing's earlier. "If you give it to me, what about you and Zhuqing?" "I already consumed mine a long time ago." "As for Zhuqing and the others, I've already prepared for them. This 10,000-year ginseng king is specifically for you, teacher. Your talent isn't the best, but with this 10,000-year ginseng king, your cultivation will surely be smooth sailing from now on. Even becoming a titled Douluo in the future shouldn't be a problem. Besides, teacher, you wouldn't want your disciple to become a revered titled Douluo while you're already old and frail, would you?" Although Ning Chuan was teasing, his gaze towards Louise was full of deep affection. "Bah, you little rascal, you really can't say anything nice." Louise's eyes reddened. She playfully took the 10,000-year ginseng king and turned to walk towards another corner. As she turned, tears fell. She knew her talent very well. More than 5.5 years had passed since she first helped Ning Chuan hunt for his spirit ring. Ning Chuan had already grown into a spirit ancestor. However, she had only broken through to spirit ancestor 3 years ago, and her current spirit power was level 45. Although it surpassed the Noding Academy Dean without any unexpected events, Spirit Saint would be her limit in the future. Becoming a Spirit Douluo was almost impossible. Now that Ning Chuan had given her the hope of advancing to titled Douluo, she was naturally moved beyond words. Zhuking, this Narcissus jade muscle bone is for you. Rongrong, this Kiluo tulip is for you. After Louise consumed the 10,000-year ginseng king according to Ning Chuan's instructions and entered a refining state, Ning Chuan gave the Narcissus jade muscle bone and Kiluo tulip to Zhu Zhuking and Ning Rongrong. The two girls were already eager. They impatiently found a spot and began refining them according to the consumption method Ning Chuan had told them before. Finally, Ning Chuan looked at Yi Lingaling. Lingaling, this is for you. As he spoke, he took out the mysterious, fragrant Kiluo immortal product. I get one too. Looking at the immortal herb emitting a strange aura, Yi Lingaling was very surprised. Yes, we're companions, aren't we? Ning Chuan once again played the emotional card with Yi Lingaling. Yi Lingaling fell into a brief silence upon hearing this. To be fair, the reason she was willing to come out with Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuking was not only because they were friends, but more importantly, because Ning Chuan could help her become stronger. In fact, Ning Chuan had done so, teaching her that extremely peculiar footwork, a method to improve mental force through eye training, and a grappling technique that gave her some offensive capability. Now Ning Chuan was giving her an immortal herb. Although she had never heard of immortal herbs before, their value was immeasurable if they could allow an 89th level spirit Douluo, who had been stuck at a bottleneck for many years, to have the possibility of breaking through to titled Douluo, and allow a 30-something spirit ancestor with mediocre talent to have the possibility of breaking through to titled Douluo. We are indeed companions, but this immortal herb is so precious, is it really okay to give it to me? Yi Lingaling nodded slightly, but she was still a bit hesitant. Of course, I also have a bit of selfishness, Ning Chuan said seriously. Yi Lingaling was stunned. What selfishness? Well, you see, your 9-heart begonia's healing ability is so strong. With it, Zhuking and I can almost fearlessly develop our spirit abilities and undergo various high-intensity training without causing harm to ourselves, which could affect our future achievements. Also, no matter what, you're a great beauty. As the saying goes, everyone loves beauty. Perhaps after refining this immortal herb, your spirit will undergo some positive changes, thereby resolving some kind of restriction. I once heard a story. If a man has shown kindness to a woman, if he's ugly, she should repay him by being a cow or horse in her next life. If he's handsome, she should offer herself to him. As for my appearance, I'm quite confident. Ning Chuan stated his purpose frankly in a joking tone. In reality, it wasn't just Yi Lingaling and the Crown Prince of Heaven-Du City. He had long had his eye on Ning Rongrong and even his teacher Louise. However, opening a harem had to be done gradually. He couldn't be too hasty, or it would easily cause trouble in the backyard. After listening to Ning Chuan's words, Yi Lingaling thought Ning Chuan was joking. Her originally aloof and beautiful face could no longer maintain its composure. With a chuckle, she couldn't help but laugh. She also joked in Ning Chuan's tone. All right, if this immortal herb can solve my spirit's problem, then I'll offer myself to you. The biggest problem with Yi Lingaling's spirit was nothing else but the curse from her spirit. Each generation of 9-heart begonia could only have one inheritor, and only 2 9-heart begonia spirit masters could be alive at the same time. Only when one died could another descendant potentially appear. In other words, the moment she awakened her 9-heart begonia, it meant that one of her direct elders had already passed away. This person could have been her mother, father, or her grandmother, grandfather. This was also the reason for her aloof personality. All right, quickly consume it. I'll guard you all. Ning Chuan handed her the mysterious fragrant Kiluo immortal product. Yi Lingaling carefully took it without saying much, but she didn't have much expectation in her heart. Of course, if this immortal herb could truly solve her problem, she would keep her promise. In the small wooden house, Ning Chuan was the only one awake at this moment. He wasn't cultivating, he just stood quietly at the entrance of Louise's room, guarding everyone. Time passed by minute. In a flash, 3 hours had passed. As the immortal herbs took effect, everyone's bodies gradually began to change. First was Lu Jiansheng. His aura became increasingly profound, already showing faint signs of breaking through to level 90. However, this was bound to be a long process, perhaps a few days or 10 days to half a month. After all, without 100,000-year spirit beast sacrifice and the cheat of a divine trial, it was extremely difficult for a spirit master to break through to level 90. Even with the aid of an immortal herb, it would still take a considerable amount of time. Then there were Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong. One of them was covered in a faint jade color, and her entire body, from its original cross-legged position, involuntarily stood up. Her hands were clasped in front of her chest, in a prayer-like posture, head bowed, quietly absorbing the medicinal power. The other was enveloped in golden light, and the golden light carried a rich tulip fragrance, making her look like a fairy descended from heaven. Finally, Louise and Yilingeling. They sat quietly, with faint mists emanating from their bodies, swirling and fluctuating around them. The slight difference was that the mist around one was pink, and the other was brilliant gold. Chapter 106. I accidentally took Ning Rongrong away. The sun rose from the east and set in the west. Louise was the first to wake up because she had taken the 10,000-year ginseng king, which had a milder medicinal effect. Perhaps it was because she felt too comfortable. She subconsciously stretched her body, and her charming curves made Ning Chuan swallow his saliva. Louise noticed Ning Chuan's garf, but instead of being disgusted, she winked at him, making Ning Chuan want to hug her and take her to a secluded corner for a passionate encounter. If there weren't age restrictions, Ning Chuan would have definitely done so. Finally, he suppressed the throbbing in his heart and whispered, "You vixen!" In a voice only Louise could hear. Louise was not ashamed but proud. Just as Louise was about to cast aside worldly prejudices and embrace Ning Chuan to make him submit, Ning Rongrong's voice came from the side. "Ning Chuan, I've broken through to level 30. It's incredible. This Douluo tulip actually allowed me to skip level 29 and break directly from level 28 to level 30. The golden light on her body had completely receded, but she still carried a rich fragrance of tulips." Ning Chuan smiled and said, "The medicinal effect of the Douluo tulip is more than that. If you attach your third spirit ring now, your spirit power could increase by another 5 or 6 levels on top of the base gain from the spirit ring. After all, the earlier one takes this immortal herb, the better." Louise's age and cultivation were already quite high when she took the immortal herb, so her improvement was relatively smaller. In contrast, Ning Rongrong took it almost half a year earlier than in the original work, and she had not yet broken through to Spirit Elder, so it was natural for her to improve by 1 or 2 more levels than in the original work. Does that mean my spirit power can catch up to yours very soon? Ning Rongrong became even more excited upon hearing this. Then she looked at Louise. "Sister Louise, how many levels did you improve?" Louise estimated about 4 levels. "I am now level 49. Then, Sister Louise, you should be close to breaking through to Spirit King." A Spirit King in her early 30s is considered an amazing genius. Ning Rongrong was genuinely happy for Louise. Ning Chuan added, "Not should be close, but is already close." As he spoke, Ning Chuan took out the Medusa head spirit bone he had obtained from Old Poison. Spirit bone. Louise and Ning Rongrong's eyes clearly lit up. "SHH, keep your voice down." Ning Chuan walked up to Louise, handed her the spirit bone and said, "Teacher, this head spirit bone, with a lifespan of about 60,000 years, possesses an extremely rare petrification ability. Because it is not a wisdom skull, it will not enhance your mental force, but it can increase your spirit power. With it, plus the medicinal power of the 10,000-year ginseng king remaining in your body, breaking through the 50th level bottleneck should not be a problem. Please don't think of refusing again. What your disciple needs in the future is a wisdom skull, and it must be one that starts at 100,000 years." Since Ning Chuan had said all that, Louise naturally would not refuse anymore, nor did she ask where he got the spirit bone. Her heart had already melted, and her gaze towards Ning Chuan gradually became doting. It was only because Ning Chuan's figure blocked Ning Rongrong's view. Otherwise, Ning Rongrong would have definitely noticed something fishy. After Louise sat down again to absorb the spirit bone, Ning Chuan turned his head and saw Ning Rongrong looking at him with envy and admiration. Ning Chuan, you are so good to your teacher. You even gave away a 60,000-year head spirit bone just like that. Am I not good to you? Why don't you quickly summon your spirit and see for yourself? Ning Chuan said. Upon hearing this, Ning Rongrong, though puzzled, still summoned her spirit. However, what she saw startled her greatly. Her 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda spirit, on top of its original 7 layers, had an additional circle of tulip petal-like golden light at the bottom, and within this golden light there were 2 distinct layers. Inside, they emitted different lights from the previous 7 layers. 9 layers, 9 colors. This is the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda. A surge of hot blood instantly rushed to Ning Rongrong's heart. At this moment, her voice became hoarse. The 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda turning into the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda, she knew what this meant. It meant that she would no longer be restricted by her spirit and would have the potential to impact titled Douluo. No, to be precise, even Louise, whose talent was much inferior to hers, had the possibility of impacting titled Douluo after taking the immortal herb. To some extent, as long as she cultivated step by step, impacting titled Douluo was almost a certainty. After a brief moment of excitement, Ning Rongrong's gaze towards Ning Chuan was no longer calm. She already had a good impression of Ning Chuan, and now he had helped her upgrade to the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda. She could no longer suppress the little thoughts deep in her heart and unhesitatingly pounced on him, giving Ning Chuan a big hug, wrapping her arms around his neck, and kissing him hard on the mouth. She thought Ning Chuan would resist, but Ning Chuan was enjoying it and even stuck out his tongue at her. Ning Rongrong's cheeks flushed and she clumsily reciprocated. In a short while, she was already panting and leaning in Ning Chuan's arms. I thought you would refuse. Ning Rongrong looked up, blinked her eyes, and revealed a rosy, pretty face. Didn't I say before, there aren't many men who can refuse a little beauty like you, and I am naturally no exception. Ning Chuan said with a smile. Then aren't you afraid Zhuking will get angry? Ning Rongrong asked somewhat nervously. Ning Chuan said, Zhuking doesn't dislike me finding other women, she dislikes me finding unclean women. And do you truly believe Zhuking hasn't noticed your little thoughts at all? Why don't I know about this? Just then, Zhuking's voice happened to sound. She walked towards the two with a frosty face and a dangerous expression. Zhuking, Ning Rongrong was so scared that she quickly let go of Ning Chuan's neck, her gaze darting away, looking like someone caught in the act of stealing, not daring to look at the other person. Zhuking sighed. In fact, she had long anticipated this situation. After all, she wasn't blind. Since she could tell Zyro Wu liked Ning Chuan back then, she could naturally also tell Ning Rongrong's little thoughts. It was only out of their friendship and a bit of luck that she hadn't exposed it. Now Ning Rongrong herself had torn through the paper, and Ning Chuan didn't dislike Ning Rongrong, so she could only reluctantly accept it. At the same time, it was fortunate that Ning Rongrong was not an improper woman. Otherwise, she would never have agreed. Finally, Zhuking glared fiercely at Ning Chuan and uttered 4 words, "Don't let it happen again." My lady is magnanimous and I am eternally grateful. Ning Chuan stepped forward, wanting to hug Zhuking, but she dodged him with a swift movement. Chapter 107, Sacred Heart Begonia. Then, he pulled Ning Rongrong to the living room outside the room and started whispering. It wasn't until a moment later that the two walked in, chatting and laughing. Needless to say, Zhuking had also reached level 30. However, the exact amount of her improvement would only be known after she obtained her 3rd spirit ring. At this moment, Yilingaling finally woke up. A soft groan, ying, attracted the attention of the 3. Turning around, they saw that Yilingaling had completely transformed. Not only had her blue hair turned golden, but her entire demeanor had also changed significantly. She was no longer as aloof and cold. Her eyes had become slightly larger, and her skin had a touch more rosiness compared to before, no longer appearing pale. Most importantly, her figure, in terms of proportion alone, had surpassed all the women Ning Chuan had seen so far. She was a golden-haired, big-eyed beauty, and the kind with an exceptionally good temperament and figure. She could even rival Ning Chuan, who was known as the Douluo's top male model in King Zhao's writings. She was only second to all the esteemed readers. Is this still Lingerling? Ning Rongrong walked up to Yi Lingerling in disbelief, scrutinizing her. If before Yi Lingerling was just a beauty on the same level as her and Zhu Zhuqing, then at this moment she had clearly surpassed them by more than half a step. She had become so beautiful, with an incredibly good figure. It was as if she was a beauty who had stepped out of a mythical world. Just standing there, she resembled a stunning painting. It was hard to imagine how many male beasts she would captivate if she were to go outside. Darn it, I want a figure like that too. Ning Rongrong looked at Yi Lingerling's chest and hips, then at her own. Envy disfigured her. She wasn't jealous of Yi Lingerling's looks or temperament, because she was confident that she wouldn't be inferior to her when she grew up. But this figure, she truly couldn't catch up to it no matter what. Probably only Zhuqing could, with that pair of evil overpower Yi Lingerling in the future. If not me, then who? Yi Lingerling asked, puzzled. You should first look at yourself. Ning Rongrong put her arm around Yi Lingerling's back and walked to Louise's dressing table. Looking at her stunning reflection in the mirror, Yi Lingerling was also instantly stunned. Is this me? Ning Rongrong said, otherwise, what do you think? Hurry up and check how much your spirit power has increased. And your spirit, that's the most important thing. Ning Chuan said that spirit affects a person's appearance. Your appearance has changed so much, it must be due to the influence of your spirit. My spirit power seems to have increased to level 40. As for my spirit, Yi Lingerling hesitated for a moment, recalling what Ning Chuan had said earlier, and raised her hand to summon her spirit. It was a begonia flower, slightly different in that it was no longer the pink of the former 9-heart begonia. Instead, it was golden. The moment the spirit was summoned, it immediately released a golden light, forming a spherical light shield that enveloped her. Yi Lingerling, enveloped in the spherical light, became extremely sacred. Not only did her skin emit a white light distinct from the golden, but her beautiful golden long hair did as well. She looked like a goddess descending from the heavens. However, at this moment, tears involuntarily welled up in her eyes and fell onto the golden begonia flower. She choked out the name of her spirit, Sacred Heart Begonia. As a top support system spirit, it also had limitations. The 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda had the superior spirit, 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda, so the 9-heart begonia naturally also had one. That was the Sacred Heart Begonia. Besides no longer having the restriction that only 2 9-heart begonias could exist, and only one per generation, it also possessed extremely powerful support abilities. Not only was its area of effect healing ability twice as strong as before, but it could also grant immunity to all poisons and counteract evil attribute spirits. And most importantly, as long as one obtained a spirit ring, they could increase all attributes of their allies by 10%, regardless of their base. After that, for every spirit ring gained, the increase would be 5%. Don't underestimate 5%. Even when promoted to title Douluo, the maximum increase is only 50%, far less than the 100% increase of the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda after cultivating to title Douluo. However, it can stack with the increases of other support system spirits, and it is an area of effect increase. Theoretically, as long as there is enough spirit power, it can provide mass increases. This was an advantage that the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda did not possess. Although Ning Rongrong did not know about the Sacred Heart Begonia, she could vaguely guess what the evolution of the 9-heart begonia meant for Yi Lingerling. She sincerely blessed her. Congratulations, Lingerling. Yi Lingerling's gaze drifted towards Ning Chuan behind Ning Rongrong. Zhu Zhuqing, fearing she might gain another sister, was about to vigilantly block Ning Chuan, preventing Yi Lingerling from throwing herself into his arms like Ning Rongrong. However, Yi Lingerling had already bowed slightly towards Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan, thank you. At this, she suddenly paused, adding, also I will repay you. Recalling her previous agreement with Ning Chuan, it was only because Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing were currently dazzled by the golden light emitted by the Sacred Heart Begonia that they couldn't clearly see Yi Lingerling's cheeks, which were now completely flushed. Good. Ning Chuan accepted with pleasure. This was what he deserved. However, he was still somewhat surprised that Yi Lingling's spirit could evolve into this form, but thinking about it, it wasn't strange. As the only immortal herb in the original novel that no one had consumed, the original work only stated that it could counteract all poisons. There must have been other divine effects that no one had discovered. 2.5 hours later, Louise opened her eyes again, purple light flickering within them. She looked radiant and refreshed, and her spirit power had also increased to level 50 after absorbing the 60,000-year Medusa head spirit bone. Teacher, congratulations. Feeling the much stronger spirit power fluctuations from Louise than before, Ning Chuan stepped forward to congratulate her. Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Yi Lingling also cast their blessings. All of this is thanks to you. It was impossible for Louise not to be happy to advance to Spirit King so quickly. After all, she was only 32 years old now. Even in the outside world, a 32-year-old Spirit King was considered an extraordinary genius. Moreover, there was still the medicinal power of the immortal herb remaining in her body. In the future, her cultivation would only be smooth sailing. Just as everyone was celebrating Louise's promotion to Quasi-Spirit King, a loud sword hum and a rich plum blossom scent wafted over. Illusory plum blossoms suddenly released from Lu Jiansheng's body, soaring into the sky. The wooden roof offered no resistance whatsoever and was directly torn off. Dust rose everywhere. Several spirit Douluo elders of the dark fragrance sword family heard the commotion and rushed over immediately, summoning their spirits and spirit rings. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black, a uniform 8 spirit rings and the dark fragrance sword spirit. However, their focuses differed. Some were strong attackers, while others were agile attackers. Chapter 108. Everyone after the breakthrough, one of the elders of the dark fragrance sword family clearly recognized Ning Chuan. He glanced at Lu Jiansheng, who was covered in dust, then looked at Louise and Ning Chuan and said, "Louise, Ning kid, what exactly happened?" Louise, your spirit power has broken through to level 50. Yes, third uncle, not only me, but my father is also about to break through. He is currently attempting to break through the level 90 bottleneck, Louise replied with a smile. The eyes of several elders of the dark fragrance sword family all lit up at the mention of level 90. Another person said, "Doesn't that mean the patriarch is about to become a titled Douluo?" "He is indeed about to break through. It should be sometime soon," Ning Chuan said seriously. "Haha, truly heaven blesses my dark fragrance sword family. After several hundred years, another titled Douluo is finally born," the elder whom Louise had called third uncle laughed loudly. "All right, second elder, third elder, don't be happy too soon. The most urgent matter is to protect the patriarch while he cultivates. No one can disturb him. If he fails, all our efforts will be in vain." The last person spoke, then he looked at Louise. "Louise, you and Ning Chuan, along with these other girls, go to the west courtyard first. We old fellows can watch over things here." Louise nodded and led Ning Chuan and the 3 girls to a courtyard on the west side, which was specifically used to host guests. Ning Chuan had also stayed there when he first arrived. However, at some point, he had simply settled into Louise's current courtyard and refused to leave. Upon arriving at the west courtyard, Ning Chuan said, "Perfect. I once by chance obtained a special spirit power meditation method. I've already taught it to Zhuqing. Teacher Rongrong and Lingaling, I will now formally teach it to you. With it, your cultivation speed should increase. However, I hope you can keep this a secret for me. Otherwise, to put it lightly, it might attract the coveting of the entire Douluo Continent. To put it seriously, it might even lead to the disappearance of the spirit master profession on the Douluo Continent." Zhu Zhuqing echoed. "Ning Chuan is right. This meditation method absolutely cannot be spread. Otherwise, it would definitely be a very dangerous matter." Upon hearing this, Louise, Ning Rongrong, and Yi Lingaling were all very curious. What kind of meditation method could make the 2 of them so cautious? Ning Chuan did not say much, directly orally transmitting the first layer of mysterious heaven skill to them. And at this moment, they finally understood why. Because this was a meditation method that allowed one to cultivate spirit power without needing to awaken spirit power or even awaken a spirit. If such a thing were to spread, it was unimaginable how great a sensation it would cause on the Douluo Continent, how many people it would cause to covet it. As for why it could lead to the disappearance of the spirit master profession, it was also very simple. Because the spread of mysterious heaven skill would inevitably lead to an explosive increase in the number of spirit masters. At that time, no matter how many spirit beasts there were, they would not be enough for the spirit masters of the Douluo Continent to hunt. And without spirit beasts, spirit masters would be unable to advance, and the spirit master profession would naturally cease to exist. After listening, Ning Rongrong was the first to stand up and guarantee, "Don't worry, I will absolutely not spread it, not even to my family." Yi Lingeling was the second to state, "Me too." Although Louise knew what mysterious heaven skill could bring to the Dark Fragrance Sword family, she also knew that this thing would bring disaster to the Dark Fragrance Sword family. Moreover, the Dark Fragrance Sword family has always lived in seclusion, and whether they had mysterious heaven skill or not made no difference. Most importantly, this was what Ning Chuan said, and she naturally wouldn't make her disciples feel awkward. Subscribe for more novel audiobooks, books like Thumbs Up, Comment, Speech, Balloon, Share, Bell, Infinite Novel Audio. Alright. While Senior Lu is in seclusion breaking through, you all should familiarize yourselves with mysterious heaven skill and strive to cultivate the first layer. Afterwards, we will go out together to hunt spirit rings for you. Also, Zhuking, your mysterious heaven skill should be close to breaking through the third layer. Work hard these next few days, put in some effort. At Ning Chuan's urging, the four girls sat down cross-legged in a line. Under Ning Chuan's guidance, they began cultivating mysterious heaven skill, and Ning Chuan, after finding that they had gotten on track, finally began cultivating himself. Currently, his spirit power was around 36.5 levels, very close to 37 levels. He could try to make a push. Half a month passed quickly. Ning Rongrong and Yi Lingeling, who had better talent, were the first to cultivate the first layer of mysterious heaven skill. It is worth mentioning that they only took less than 7 days. Louise was a bit slower, taking nearly half a month. And at this time, Ning Chuan's spirit power finally broke through to level 37, and Zhu Zhuking, utilizing the body's transformation by the Narcissus Jade Muscle Bone, successfully broke through the third layer of mysterious heaven skill. As for Lu Jiansheng, his breakthrough took longer than Ning Chuan had anticipated. This made Louise start to worry. Fortunately, 2.5 days later, he finally emerged from seclusion. He successfully broke through the level 90 bottleneck. Now, the levels of the 6 people after consuming the immortal herb are Lu Jiansheng, Spirit Power Level 90, Spirit Dark Fragrance Sword, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple, 4 Black. Louise, Spirit Power Level 50, Spirit Dark Fragrance Sword, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple. Yi Lingeling, Spirit Power Level 40, Spirit Sacred Heart Begonia, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 1 Purple. Ning Chuan, Spirit Power Level 37, Spirit Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, Spirit Ring Configuration Yellow, Purple, Purple. Zhu Zhuking, Spirit Power Level 30. Spirit Hellsivet, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, Ning Rongrong, Spirit Power Level 30. Spirit 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow. Early the next morning, the 6 of them, accompanied by 3 spirit Douluo elders of the Dark Fragrance Sword family, set off for the Stardew Great Forest to hunt for spirit rings. Upon entering the Stardew Great Forest, the group split into 2 teams. Louise's third uncle, who was also the 3rd elder of the Dark Fragrance Sword family, led Ning Chuan and the 4 girls to the outer perimeter to hunt for spirit rings. The 1st elder and 2nd elder, on the other hand, accompanied Lu Jiansheng to the deeper parts of the Stardew Great Forest to hunt spirit beasts over 50,000 years old for Lu Jiansheng's 9th spirit ring. Ning Chuan's group had pretty good luck. It only took 5 days to hunt suitable spirit rings for Louise and the 3 girls. First was Ning Rongrong. Her spirit could directly attach spirit rings according to the 7 treasure-glazed tile school's prescribed route. Ning Chuan did not interfere too much, only finding her a soul power holy wood of about 1700 years, allowing her to obtain a spirit ability that amplified spirit power, just like in the original work. However, perhaps because Ning Rongrong, as a support system spirit master, had a naturally weaker physique, she encountered some difficulty in absorbing this spirit ring. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Yilingaling took action, and with the assistance of Sacred Heart Begonia, Ning Rongrong successfully overcame the difficulty. After absorbing the Soul Power Holy Wood Spirit Ring, she not only gained a 40% amplification in strength, speed, and spirit power, but her spirit power also increased to level 36. Then there was Yilingaling. Yilingaling's spirit was originally 9 Heart Begonia, and regardless of how many spirit rings were attached, it only had one spirit ability, which was Area of Effect Healing. After evolving into Sacred Heart Begonia, her spirit gained the effects of countering all poisons, suppressing evil spirits, and amplifying all attributes, in addition to Area of Effect Healing. Therefore, Ning Chuan chose a Soul Power Holy Wood for her that was nearly 4,700 years old. Chapter 109 Bone Stealing. The reason for choosing Soul Power Holy Wood was not for anything else, but precisely because of its wood attribute and its inherent abundant vitality. This can prevent the child Yilingaling gives birth to in the future from having their spirit degenerate into 9 Heart Begonia when they awaken their spirit. Originally, Ning Chuan could have also suggested that Ning Rongrong try to absorb spirit rings with gem attributes in the future, to prevent the degeneration of her descendants' spirits into the 7 treasure-glazed tile pagoda. It's just a pity that such spirit beasts are too rare, and even if found, they might not be suitable for Ning Rongrong, so it wasn't mentioned much. After absorbing the over 4,700-year-old Soul Power Holy Wood Spirit Ring, Yilingaling's spirit power did not skyrocket. It only increased by 1 level, reaching level 41, which is a normal standard after absorbing a spirit ring. However, with Mysterious Heaven's skill and the Silvery Fragrance Immortal product, her cultivation speed is bound to be faster than before. Following Ning Rongrong and Yilingaling, Zhu Zhuqing and Louise also obtained suitable spirit rings. They were, respectively, a 1,900-year-old Shadow Leopard and a 10,000-year-old Death Thorns. First, the Shadow Leopard. Zhu Zhuqing successfully absorbed it with the dual assistance of Yilingaling and Ning Rongrong, plus her Black Widow external soul bone. This caused Zhu Zhuqing's spirit power to directly soar to level 37, instantly catching up with Ning Chuan, and it also provided her with a spirit ability similar to Ning Chuan's 3rd spirit ability, Sword Shadow. Although she cannot split into up to 8 clones like Ning Chuan as her spirit rings increase, she only has a fixed 2, but each clone possesses half of her main body's strength and can use spirit ring skills, which is still quite good. Once Ning Chuan teaches her the divided mind control method, it is believed that Zhu Zhuqing's strength will rise another level. After that, she only needs to wait for her 4th spirit ring to add a sufficiently strong attack-type spirit ring. Then there's the Death Thorns. As a wood-attributed tool spirit, just like the Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, the Dark Fragrance Sword naturally chose a wood-attributed spirit beast as the most appropriate, and this rather offensive Death Thorns is very suitable for Louise. Once her 5th spirit ability is unleashed, with the Dark Fragrance Sword at the center, it emits countless palm-sized conical pink sword manifestations to attack. Each sword manifestation possesses 1/3 of her own spirit power's attack power. It belongs to a range attack skill and can also lock onto opponents to launch a barrage effect for single-target attacks. It has a similar effect to Dai Mubai's 4th spirit ability, White Tiger Meteor Shower, in the original work. It is an enhanced version of the White Tiger Meteor Shower. Thus, Ning Chuan and his group's spirit hunting operation was successfully concluded. The group waited for Lu Jiansheng and the 2 elders on the outskirts of the Stardew Great Forest. 3 days later, Lu Jiansheng returned, flying back, and he also brought along the 2 elders from the dark fragrance sword family. It seems, Senior Lu, that you have already obtained your 9th spirit ring. This was the first thing Ning Chuan said after seeing Lu Jiansheng. Haha, my luck wasn't bad. I encountered a sword-toothed demon tiger of around 70,000 years in the depths of the Stardew Great Forest, and I even got a torso bone. It's for you. Lu Jiansheng laughed and threw out a gleaming white torso bone that exuded a bloody, ferocious aura. This was also a partial repayment of Ning Chuan's kindness in helping him break through to title Douluo. It also helped deepen their relationship. Ning Chuan took it without even looking, directly giving it to Louise. Teacher, you take it and absorb it. This spirit bone is not suitable for me. This caused Lu Jiansheng and the 3 elders of the dark fragrance sword family to be momentarily stunned. Louise, however, took it and did not refuse as she had before. Currently, although they are still master and disciple, their relationship is stronger than ever, and there is no need to be so clear about distinctions anymore. After a brief moment of surprise, Lu Jiansheng spoke. Next, we are returning to the family. Do you want to come back with us? Senior, aren't you going to Spirit Hall to obtain your title? Ning Chuan asked, somewhat surprised. Lu Jiansheng shook his head. Fame is insignificant to me, and besides, the continental situation is unpredictable right now. My dark fragrance sword family has always focused on inheritance, and there's no need to get involved in the continent's disputes. Upon hearing this, Ning Chuan expressed understanding. After all, sometimes being too high profile is not a good thing and can easily lead to being targeted. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan in the original work is the best example. Although they did not participate in the conflict between Spirit Hall and the 2 empires, nor did they jump around in front of Spirit Hall all day like the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, because they were unwilling to submit to any side and were powerful enough. They were annihilated by Spirit Hall. Of course, the credit for that certainly goes to that guy. Ning Chuan said, in that case, I have something to ask of Senior. You have shown me great kindness, so speak freely. Even marrying Louise to you is fine. The latter part of the sentence, Lu Jiansheng used spirit power sound transmission, directly sending the sound into Louise and Ning Chuan's minds. Ning Chuan replied, I will marry her once I become a titled Douluo in the future. Currently, Ning Chuan's mental force already met the conditions for spirit power sound transmission. Their conversation directly made Louise blush. Unfortunately, they were using spirit power sound transmission, otherwise Louise would have had to find a hole to crawl into. Cough. Ning Chuan lightly coughed and said, the Soul Master competition is about to begin in about a year and a half. I would like to ask Senior to guide our cultivation during this period, and also to accompany me to retrieve something. With Lu Jiansheng, a titled Douluo, he would no longer have to worry about being ambushed by Tang Rishan at the Soul Master competition. As for the item to be retrieved, it was even simpler. The 100,000-year-old Blue-Silver Emperor right leg bone and the Blue-Silver Emperor itself. It couldn't be ruined by Old Mouse again. What is it? No problem, just leave it to this old man. Lu Jiansheng readily agreed. Teacher, don't stay at Noding Academy anymore. Just come with me to Heavendew Royal Academy and be our team leader there, Ning Chuan said to Louise. I'll listen to you, but I still need to tell Dean Gino. Louise naturally didn't want to be separated from Ning Chuan again. That's exactly what I intended. To retrieve the Blue-Silver Emperor right leg bone, he certainly couldn't bring so many people. Lu Jiansheng alone was enough. That evening, Zhu Zhuqing, Yi Lingeling, and Ning Rongrong returned to Noding Academy with Louise. After Louise informed the dean of her departure, although he felt deeply regretful, he did not stop her. After all, everyone has their own path to walk. Meanwhile, Ning Chuan and Lu Jiansheng arrived near Saint Spirit Village. First, he pinched himself hard to test if Old Mouse was around. This continued for 3 consecutive days. Each time Ning Chuan searched a new area, he would use a different method to inflict harmless side effects on himself, confirming whether Old Mouse was present. Then he would search for the Blue-Silver Emperor and the Spirit Bone. Of course, Ning Chuan wasn't searching randomly, he specifically looked for places with waterfalls. Finally, thousands of meters above an area near a waterfall, Ning Chuan successfully bound it, binding successful. After the successful binding, all the stinging pain on Ning Chuan's body disappeared. He said to Lu Jiansheng, "Senior, let's hide first." Chapter 110. At this time, Tang Rishan still didn't know that his wife had been stolen. Upon hearing this, Senior Lu, though confused, still led Ning Chuan to hide behind the mountain opposite the waterfall. To Senior Lu's astonishment, Ning Chuan released tens of thousands of devouring gold bugs, enveloping the two of them to block their spirit power fluctuations. Then, using the devouring gold bugs to obstruct the view, he took out a large handful of laxatives he had never used before, put them in his mouth and swallowed them, then transferred the side effects to Old Mouse. Not long after, the stone door below the waterfall opened, and a hunched old man, clutching his backside, darted out and flew into the distance. It seems he doesn't want to defile the place where Yin resides, but that's good, it's just as I intended. Ning Chuan chuckled inwardly, then turned to Senior Lu and said, "Senior Lu, send me down there." "Little Ning, what was that just now?" Senior Lu looked astonished. If he hadn't seen wrong just now, the other party had flown away without using his spirit, which meant the person who had just left was a titled Douluo. And the strange, eerie black armor made of bugs on their bodies. Good heavens, it turns out his future son-in-law is a twin spirits holder. Ning Chuan said, "I'll explain to you later." A moment later, Ning Chuan was sent to the bottom of the waterfall by Senior Lu. Ning Chuan pushed open the boulder where Tang Rishan had emerged earlier, had Senior Lu stand guard outside, and then entered the stone chamber within the cave. Upon seeing the blue-silver grass with golden patterns, formed from Yin's seed, he didn't hesitate. He quickly transplanted it into a pre-prepared flower pot and then stored it in his Kun bag. Immediately after, he released devouring gold bugs to search. Finally, on the ceiling of the stone chamber, he found the black iron box where Tang Rishan had hidden the spirit bone. He collected the spirit bone inside, erased his footprints, and then used the devouring gold bugs to check if any traces of their presence remained. From beginning to end, not a single clue was left behind. Finally, he even thoughtfully closed the stone door for Tang Rishan and planted a withered blue-silver grass. To make it look more convincing, he also deliberately left dozens of devouring gold bugs wrapped around this withered blue-silver grass, disguised as the blue-silver emperor. As long as Ning Chuan didn't actively remove them or his spirit power didn't run out, Tang Rishan wouldn't notice immediately. When Tang Rishan sees the withered blue-silver grass in the future, that will truly be fun. Then, under Senior Lu's flight, they flew away in the opposite direction from where Tang Rishan had left, bypassed Saint Spirit Village, and after some twists and turns, finally returned to Noding Academy. During this time, Ning Chuan didn't explain anything, and Senior Lu didn't ask again, but he knew Ning Chuan hadn't done anything good. But what did that matter to him? As long as Ning Chuan was good to his daughter, that was all that mattered. Seeing Ning Chuan and his group return, Louise and the other 3 girls did not stay any longer. That night, the 6 of them left Nuoding City overnight. 3 days passed, and Ning Chuan and his group had already left the Fasanuo province where Nuoding City was located. And Tang Rishan was finally relieved from 3 days of constant bombardment. Strange, why did I suddenly start having an upset stomach? Tang Rishan didn't think about his diarrhea in any other way. After all, he hadn't attached a poison attribute spirit ring like Tang-san, and he hadn't come into contact with anyone for months. He simply thought it was due to days of rough travel which had upset his stomach. Well, it's time to go see little San. He looked at his stinking, tattered robes, and then at his stomach, which was shriveled and rumbling from 3 days of diarrhea. Tang Hao felt he had no face to see Yin, so he didn't enter the cave. He bathed on the spot below the waterfall, changed into relatively clean clothes, and then went to Saint Spirit Village to steal some food. After eating and drinking his fill, he headed straight for Heaven Dew City. Regardless of Tang Rishan's situation, Ning Chuan and his group, after leaving Fasinuo province, spent another 7 days. Led by Ning Chuan, they arrived at Old Poison's former residence. The area was still surrounded by a poisonous array year-round. To the astonished gazes of Ning Rongrong, Yi Lingaling and Louise, Ning Chuan released tens of thousands of devouring gold bugs. Then a horrifying scene unfolded. The poisonous array was quickly gnawed away by the swarm of bugs, creating a passage wide enough for several people to walk side by side. All right, let's go in. This passage will only last for a while, it will quickly revert. Ning Chuan took the lead and walked in. Ning Rongrong quickly followed, asking, Ning Chuan, what were those bugs just now? They are my second spirit, Ning Chuan answered frankly. Upon hearing this, Ning Rongrong was even more shocked. You have twin spirits. Not only her, but even Yi Lingaling, Louise, and Senior Lu, who had witnessed Ning Chuan's second spirit, were all deeply startled at this moment. Only Little Cat, who knew earliest, didn't react as exaggeratedly. However, surprise was certainly inevitable. Because Ning Chuan's devouring gold bugs, compared to last time, had not only changed color from their original silver to golden silver, but their size had also increased considerably. Their numbers were even terrifying. There were probably tens of thousands of them. A moment later, everyone passed through the poisonous array, and the passage, having lost the devouring gold bug's consumption, reverted to its original appearance. What now appeared before everyone was the familiar jungle. At the center of the jungle was the hill where the ice and fire yin-yang well was located, and beneath the hill was Old Poison's cave dwelling. I seem to have been here before. Is there a cave dwelling up ahead? Yi Lingaling looked at her surroundings, feeling a sense of familiarity. What, you've been here? Ning Chuan feigned confusion. Then it must be right. This is the residence of Douluo Yan's grandfather, Poison Douluo. When we were acquiring our third spirit ring, Douluo Yan brought us here once. It's just a pity. Thinking back to 2 months ago, when Prince Xu Xing and Crown Prince Xu King said that Douluo Bao had gone missing, and Douluo Yan was also nowhere to be found, Yi Lingaling couldn't help but feel a little sad. It seems they were very likely killed over a month ago, Ning Chuan suddenly realized. Hearing that even a titled Douluo had been killed, Louise couldn't help but show a nervous expression, asking, how so? Ning Chuan stated the explanation he had prepared, saying, ever since I received news about the immortal herb, I've been searching for it. A large part of the reason I joined Heavendew Royal Academy was for the immortal herb. Fortunately, I was lucky. After searching for over a month, I finally found a record of the immortal herb in an ancient book in the Heavendew Royal Academy's library. That day happened to be the day the royal fight team, which includes Lingaling and Douluo Yan, returned. That night, I followed the clues to Sunset Forest to search, and it took me over half a month to finally find this place. At that time, there was already no one here. Later, when I returned to Heavendew Royal Academy, news spread of Poison Douluo and Douluo Yan's disappearance. After listening to Ning Chuan's words, Senior Lu couldn't help but break into a cold sweat for Ning Chuan. It's a good thing that Old Poison wasn't there, otherwise your life would have been in danger. That old fellow is notoriously ruthless. Ning Chuan was non-committal, indeed. However, looking at this situation, and with Poison Douluo not appearing even after we entered, it seems he really has been killed. Ning Rongrong lightly snorted. If he's dead, he's dead. Anyway, that old fellow wasn't a good person. Chapter 111. 6 months after raising Yin, additional update for the Dark Star Emperor. This matter ultimately began because of me. Ning Chuan shook his head, feigning sadness and self-reproach. Alas, if I had known this, I shouldn't have revealed that Douluo Yan might have been poisoned. Otherwise, Senior Douluo and Yanzi might not have been in trouble. I harmed them. Louise stepped forward and embraced Ning Chuan, pulling him into her soft embrace, her eyes full of comforting tenderness. Zyro Chuan, this is not your responsibility. Zhu Zhuking said coldly. Sister Louise is right. That day you kindly warned her, but it only brought Douluo Yan's harsh words. This time, Douluo Bao, in his quest for an antidote, attacked Tang San, only to be suppressed and killed by his father, Clear Sky Douluo. It can only be said to be karmic retribution. Ning Rongrong echoed, exactly, exactly. It's also fortunate that old poison didn't come looking for you first that day, or you would have been in danger. But Ning Chuan still maintained a deeply self-reproachful expression. Yilingaling watched Ning Chuan's reaction, and her gaze towards him softened. She sighed in her heart. He truly is a gentle person. If Yan Yan were still alive, I'm sure she would have been very happy to be friends with you. Only Lu Jiansheng gnashed his teeth a little. Although he had already accepted this future son-in-law in his heart, was it really okay for Ning Chuan to take liberties with his daughter in front of him, her father? A moment later, everyone arrived in front of Old Poison's cave dwelling. Because no one had taken care of it for a long time, the embedded bamboo house at the entrance of the cave dwelling had accumulated a thick layer of dust. At this moment, everyone silently accepted the fact that Dugu Bao and Dugu Yan had already perished. After a simple cleanup, Ning Chuan said, "All right, next, teacher, you, Zhuking, Rongrong, and Lingaling, the four of you will live in this cave dwelling. Senior Lu and I will build a wooden house outside. I need to replant the seeds of the immortal herbs we consumed earlier so they can regrow in 1,000 years. Senior Lu, I'll leave the work of building the wooden house to you. You really know how to order people around. All right, you brat, hurry up and go," Lu Jiansheng said with a laughing curse. Ning Chuan smiled, summoned his 8 spider lances, and with a sudden spring he soared up the mountainside. A few seconds later he disappeared into the sea of clouds. Lu Jiansheng looked in the direction Ning Chuan disappeared, muttering to himself. "Tusk, Tusk, twin spirits and this external spirit bone. Daughter, oh daughter, you must seize this opportunity." The others wore expressions of confusion. After Zhu Zhuking explained and displayed her external spirit bone, Ning Rongrong became incredibly envious. It wasn't that she envied Zhu Zhuking for having a spirit bone, but rather that she envied Ning Chuan for giving Zhu Zhuking a spirit bone. On the other side, after planting various immortal herb seeds, Ning Chuan took out the blue silver emperor and planted it in the partitioned area of the Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. Looking at the trembling blue silver emperor in front of him, seemingly afraid of something, Ning Chuan frowned. Then, as if he suddenly remembered something, he bit his index finger directly and dripped his fresh blood, which contained the medicinal power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the inferno apricot flood, onto the blue-silver emperor's branches and leaves. The entire blue-silver emperor stiffened. As Ning Chuan's fresh blood was absorbed, a series of alternating red and blue halos erupted from the blue-silver emperor's surface. Vaguely, the individual blue-silver emperor seemed to have grown a bit larger than before. And at this time, she was no longer so resistant to Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan raised his hand and touched her branches and leaves. She only symbolically resisted a few times before, allowing Ning Chuan to do as he pleased. After touching her for a while, the blue-silver emperor seemed to sense that Ning Chuan had no ill intentions and stopped trembling. Ning Chuan sat cross-legged in front of the blue-silver emperor, cultivating mysterious heaven skill while secretly chuckling. "Next, I just need to feed her my essence blood daily. In less than a year and a half, our yin will become the shape I desire. As for Tang Rishan and Tang San, you two should find another wife and another mother." And so, from that day on, Ning Chuan and his group took up residence in Dugu Bao's old lair. Every day he would feed his blood to Ah Yin. With the gradual feeding of blood, plus the special environment of the ice and fire yin-yang well, the blue-silver emperor grew larger and larger. In just half a year, Ah Yin had almost grown to the 1,000-year level. At the same time, she also became increasingly affectionate towards Ning Chuan. Whenever she sensed Ning Chuan's arrival, she would affectionately cling to him. As for the side effects of losing blood, they were naturally transferred to Old Mouse. Anyway, during the first 3 months after he awakened his spirit, he bled a lot. The side effects of weakness caused by blood loss had long been bound to Old Mouse. Of course, besides feeding the blue-silver emperor, Ning Chuan also didn't forget to cultivate. During these past 6 months, He spent most of his time daily immersing himself in the spring water of the ice and fire yin-yang well, promoting the circulation of mysterious heaven skill and accelerating his body's absorption of the medicinal power from the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the inferno apricot flood. The remaining time was spent cultivating swordsmanship and the martial arts recorded in the mysterious heaven treasure record, and he also dabbled in hidden weapons. Although he wouldn't use these things much in the future, it was always right to be prepared for the unexpected. After all, having a sword in hand and not using it is one thing, and not having a sword at all is another. However, just because Ning Chuan didn't use them didn't mean that the others wouldn't. Among them, the ones who needed hidden weapons the most were Yi Lingaling and Ning Rongrong, two support system spirit masters. Ning Chuan not only taught them mysterious heaven skill, mysterious jade hand, purple demon eye, ghost shadow perplexing track, and controlling crane catching dragon. He also did not hold back in teaching them the hidden weapons techniques recorded in the mysterious heaven treasure record. Basically, Ning Chuan taught them as much as they could learn. As for mechanical hidden weapons, he hadn't forged any, as Ning Chuan didn't have that much time to do so. During his cultivation, Ning Chuan also didn't forget to consult senior Lu Jiansheng, a titled Douluo, on some cultivation knowledge. After all, his understanding of cultivation was limited to foresight and knowledge gained from books. There were some points he didn't know or hadn't noticed. Lu Jiansheng, however, was different. Aside from breaking through to 91st level with the help of immortal herbs, before that, he had cultivated almost step by step on his own. Therefore, he gave Ning Chuan a lot of inspiration. And during these past 6 months, all the girls had made significant progress. First, Little Cat and Ning Rongrong. In these past 6 months, their spirit power progressed rapidly, both increasing by 2 spirit power levels, reaching level 39 and 38 respectively. Currently, Little Cat is preparing to break through to Spirit Ancestor. Yi Lingaling, perhaps because her spirit quality had already reached an extremely high level, or perhaps because her spirit power was already very close to 42nd level after absorbing her 4th spirit ring, also increased by 2 spirit power levels in just these short 6 months. Reaching level 43, although Louise's improvement was not as significant as the first 3, after fusing with the 70,000-year sword-toothed demon tiger torso spirit bone, her spirit power increased from 51st level to 53rd level, and then by another level in the following 5 months. Reaching 54th level, at this cultivation speed, before the medicinal power of the 10,000-year Ginseng King is completely refined, increasing by 2 to 3 spirit power levels per year should not be a problem. Louise's fairy grass has changed. Louise's immortal herb was changed. Subscribe for more novel audiobooks, books like Thumbs Up, Comment, Speech Balloon, Share, Bell, Infinite Novel Audio. Someone felt that Mandarin Duck Immortal Herb was not suitable, as it easily leaned towards Yuri. So 8-Petal Immortal Orchid was changed to 10,000-Year Ginseng King. Additionally, all typos were corrected. Chapter 112. Yin shows the way on this day. Ning Chuan, who was floating in the ice and fire yin-yang well, suddenly opened his eyes. Purple light flowed in his eyes, and he lightly patted the water with his right hand. He used the force to fly up, leaping onto the ground in a half-crouching posture. As he slowly stood up, a spirit power fluctuation far exceeding level 39 erupted. This was a sign that his spirit power had reached level 40. Finally, I'm at level 40. Ning Chuan slowly stood up, revealing his extraordinarily handsome face and his tall, model-like physique. Just as Ning Chuan was about to leave this place and search for his 4th spirit ring, a vine, as thick as a baby's arm and with golden patterns, climbed from Ning Chuan's side up his arm, then stopped on his shoulder, rubbing his cheek affectionately. Immediately after, an extremely gentle mental force fluctuation quietly bloomed, seemingly conveying something. Ning Chuan asked in surprise, "Are you trying to tell me something?" This vine with golden patterns was naturally Yin, who had been fed by Ning Chuan's essence blood, and had lived in the ice and fire yin-yang well for half a year. Her cultivation had now recovered to 2,000 to 3,000 years. Ning Chuan estimated that in just a few years she would be able to grow to 10,000 years, and with Ning Chuan's essence blood feeding, Yin had gradually overcome her initial fear of Ning Chuan, and now Yin was very close to him. A gentle mental fluctuation was emitted again. Ning Chuan tried hard to listen to what Yin wanted to convey, but unfortunately, without the blue-silver domain, he couldn't understand what she was trying to say. Now that Yin has been nurtured by the immortal herb from my consumption of the Inferno apricot flood and octagonal mysterious ice grass, to some extent, she can be considered to have formed a bloodline recognition with me. But unfortunately, the connection is only one-sided. It can understand what I say, but I cannot hear her voice. I hope that integrating that 10,000-year blue-silver emperor right leg bone will bring me some gains. Thinking of this, Ning Chuan no longer hesitated. He took out a complete blue-golden right leg spirit bone from the spirit tool at his waist. Ning Chuan had his own considerations for choosing to absorb it now, as wealth moves hearts. In the common perception of the Douluo Continent, spirit bones are only divided into 10,000-year spirit bones and other spirit bones. Ning Chuan couldn't guarantee that Lu Jiansheng wouldn't be tempted by this blue-silver emperor right leg bone, so he could only be cautious. After obtaining the spirit ring, he would say that his spirit power increased so rapidly because he had refined the medicinal power of the octagonal mysterious ice grass and the Inferno apricot flood. This way, the risk could be minimized. And Yin also seemed to understand what Ning Chuan was going to do. Not only did she not disturb him anymore, but she also coiled her branches and vines around Ning Chuan, protecting him. With Yin's assistance, Ning Chuan absorbed this spirit bone exceptionally smoothly. In just 2.5 days, Ning Chuan had integrated this 10,000-year spirit bone with himself. At this time, Yin also emitted mental fluctuations again. Feeling the spirit bone within his body, which was connected to Yin's bloodline at this moment, Ning Chuan actually understood what Yin wanted to express. Spirit bone. Absorb spirit ring, I help you. You want to help me obtain my 4th spirit ring. Ning Chuan was overjoyed. Yin emitted mental fluctuations again, roughly meaning, forest, subjects, spirit ring, I'll take you. Ning Chuan knew that she wanted him to go to the blue-silver forest. After a brief moment of joy, he shook his head and said, "Your subjects will only recognize the blue-silver emperor or a blue-silver emperor bloodline successor, and you are now rooted in the ice and fire yin-yang well and cannot move. Otherwise, irreversible damage will occur. It's not too late to get this spirit ring after you recover to 10,000-year cultivation and can move freely." Upon hearing this, Yin seemed to realize this point as well. Her body paused slightly. For a moment, the cliff walls around the ice and fire yin-yang well were covered with blue-silver grass. Ning Chuan saw that she seemed to be releasing her blue-silver domain to sense something. A moment later, she extended another vine, pointed in a direction, and then motioned for Ning Chuan to go there. "Are you indicating that there is a spirit beast suitable for me there?" Ning Chuan asked softly. Yin's blue-golden branches slowly drooped as if wilting. Upon closer inspection, a layer of golden dew appeared on the surface of the branches. There was no further response, looking as if her mental force had been overused. It seems that forcibly using the blue-silver domain has caused excessive consumption, leading to a temporary slumber. Ning Chuan cut his palm and fed her fresh blood to help her recover. After the branches regained some vitality, Ning Chuan exerted force with his right leg. Under the effect of the blue-silver emperor right leg bone's 2nd skill, wildfire cannot burn it out and the spring breeze blows it to life again. The injury on his palm instantly recovered as before. "All right, little one, you can recover slowly here. I'll come to see you again after some time." Ning Chuan carefully caressed Yin's branches, then exerted force with his right leg again, activating the blue-silver emperor right leg bone's 1st skill, flight. He flew to the mountaintop, then summoned his 8 spider lances, swooped down, and landed in front of Douluo Dalu's cave dwelling. At this time, the girls were practicing in the jungle near the cave dwelling under Senior Lu's guidance. Hearing the commotion, they all rushed over. "Haha, good boy, it seems you've finally broken through. A 13-year-old spirit ancestor, Tusk, it's truly unheard of." Before he even arrived, Lu Jiansheng's rough voice came over. A moment later, Lu Jiansheng as well as Louise Yi Lingaling, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong flashed before him. Ning Chuan put away his external spirit bone, a faint smile on his face. It was just luck. The others were already used to Ning Chuan's modesty. Louise asked gently, "Zyro Chuan, have you decided which spirit beast to choose for your 4th spirit ring?" Ning Chuan was silent for a moment, then shook his head and said, "I don't know what it is yet, but there's a place I still plan to go and see. Senior Lu, I'll have to trouble you to come with me." Lu Jiansheng said, "No problem, I also want to know what kind of existence the 4th spirit ring you fancy is." A moment later, the elder and the youth left the poison array and stealthily proceeded along the direction Yin had indicated earlier. After about 3 days of travel, the two arrived at an unfamiliar area. Ning Chuan took out the map Qian Renxiu had given him and looked at it, realizing that this was an extremely dangerous area in the Sunset Forest. Several high-level spirit masters had come here to hunt for spirit rings, but they had all mysteriously disappeared. Looking around, it was raining continuously, and in the distant valley, there were occasional rumbling sounds from rolling thunder. Ning Chuan's heart was greatly shocked, and he dared not be negligent in the slightest. Green light surged from his right hand, and he summoned his azure bamboo bee cloud sword spirit. The 3 spirit rings, yellow, and purple, rose up, and his 2nd spirit ring lit up, summoning a sword shield to envelop himself and Lu Jiansheng. "Senior Lu, from now on, we must be careful," Ning Chuan said in a deep voice. Lu Jiansheng nodded heavily. He also vaguely felt a sense of trepidation, and for him, a titled Douluo, to feel this way, it must mean that some extremely powerful spirit beast was living ahead. Otherwise, it would not be possible to possess such powerful might. Chapter 113, Thundering Hell Vine. Fortunately, this feeling of palpitation came and went quickly. As the two delved deeper, the sound of thunder gradually amplified, eventually falling directly from above their heads. Thunder at this level instantly reminded Lu Jiansheng of one person, Yu Yuanjun, the clan head of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, the Thunder Douluo. Throughout the entire Spirit Master's world, only he could release such powerful thunder from such a distance. But to his surprise, after the thunder fell, he didn't even need to block it. It merely touched Ning Chuan's sword shield and instantly vanished into thin air. Looking at Ning Chuan and the azure bamboo bee cloud sword in his hand, a faint golden electric arc flashed, seemingly out of nowhere. This lightning, descending from the sky, was precisely dispelled by this faint golden electric arc. The two traveled for another half a day, and the thunder descending from the sky became more frequent. The faint golden glow on Ning Chuan's body and the azure bamboo bee cloud sword became more pronounced. At this point, the two finally entered the canyon and saw the source of the lightning. Inside the canyon, there was a vast, pitted area, revealing a lightning-struck land. At the center of the lightning strikes, a small hill rose, and a giant vine with skin resembling bamboo shoots and covered in lightning grew quietly there. Thunderclap Hell Vine. The moment Ning Chuan saw this vine, its name appeared in his mind. Thunderclap Hell Vine, a top-tier plant-type spirit beast, inherently intelligent. We really found a treasure. If one were to ask which spirit ring on the Douluo Continent was most suitable for Ning Chuan's azure bamboo bee cloud sword, the Thunderclap Hell Vine before him would rank second, and nothing else could possibly rank first. Even if he were given a choice between a 100,000-year spirit ring and the Thunderclap Hell Vine, he would unhesitatingly choose the latter. The reason was none other than the evil-warding divine lightning. Currently, Ning Chuan urgently needed a lightning attribute spirit ring to activate the effect of the evil-warding divine lightning. The Thunderclap Hell Vine not only possessed the lightning attribute, but was also a plant spirit beast, belonging to the wood element, which was highly compatible with the azure bamboo bee cloud sword. Most importantly, this thunderclap hell vine seemed to have already gained the ability to change the weather, indicating that its cultivation had reached the 10,000-year level. In the original work, Yin had deep feelings for the spirit beast race. She deeply detested spirit masters who hunted 100,000-year spirit beasts that possessed high intelligence, and she wouldn't accept it even if that spirit master was her own son. Although this thunderclap hell vine hasn't reached 100,000 years, it possesses innate intelligence. Fortunately, Yin has already recognized me through a blood bond. Otherwise, even if she knew about this thunderclap hell vine, she wouldn't have told me. Ning Chuan muttered to himself. At this moment, he suddenly felt incredibly fortunate for his choice back then to nurture Yin with his blood. Otherwise, he would have missed out on such an excellent fourth spirit ring. As he pondered, the thunderclap hell vine also discovered them and unhesitatingly unleashed a large amount of lightning towards the two within the sword shield. Then it was absorbed. However, the sword shield's endurance was ultimately limited. In an instant, the sword shield became covered in cracks from the lightning strikes. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Ning Chuan released the devouring gold bugs, which devoured the lightning that had seeped through the cracks, otherwise they would have been in real danger. This vine is not simple. From the spirit power fluctuations, although it's no more than 20,000 years old, it can control the weather and summon lightning. Fortunately, your two spirits can, to some extent, restrain it, otherwise it would be dangerous. Lu Jiansheng's expression instantly became solemn. He no longer cared about being shocked that Ning Chuan could use two spirits simultaneously. He looked intently at the thunderclap hell vine ahead and said in a deep voice, "I'll break its lightning and you deliver the fatal blow." "Then I'll trouble Senior Lu," Ning Chuan respectfully replied. The next moment, 2 yellow, 2 purple and 5 black spirit rings flashed around Lu Jiansheng, and he summoned his spirit, the dark fragrant sword. Unlike Louise, who walked the agility attack system path, Lu Jiansheng, as the clan head of the dark fragrant sword family, undoubtedly followed the attack system path. Therefore, his dark fragrant sword appeared significantly heavier than Louise's. His 7th and 9th spirit rings lit up consecutively, and a giant figure, about 10 meters tall, wielding a massive dark fragrant sword and surrounded by countless plum blossom-shaped sword manifestation, appeared. 9th spirit ability, Tiger Soul Cross Slash. With a sharp cry from Lu Jiansheng, the dark fragrance sword in his hand and the dark fragrance sword held by the giant simultaneously slashed out. A gigantic saber-toothed tiger, also surrounded by countless plum blossom-shaped sword manifestation, materialized from nothing and lunged towards the thunderclap hell vine. The thunderclap hell vine seemed to sense the danger and immediately released lightning without hesitation, concentrating the lightning from the sky and striking the gigantic saber-toothed tiger. When the two collided, the saber-toothed tiger was the first to collapse, but fortunately Lu Jiansheng's 9th spirit ability did not end there. After collapsing, the giant cross-slash hidden within erupted, colliding with the lightning once more. "Ning Chuan now," Lu Jiansheng shouted urgently. Before he could speak, Ning Chuan had already acted. His entire body was covered in the devouring gold bug's black armor, and the 8 spider lances had extended from his back. With a sudden spring from the 8 spider lances, Ning Chuan swiftly darted towards the thunderclap hell vine's main body. Although the thunderclap hell vine possessed some intelligence, it was clearly an amateur in terms of tactics. While being restrained by Lu Jiansheng, it could only release small bursts of lightning to attack Ning Chuan, but all of them were absorbed by Ning Chuan's azure bamboo bee cloud sword. Not only that, after absorbing the lightning, it was transformed by the azure bamboo bee cloud sword into a faint golden electric arc, which was the evil-warding divine lightning. Seeing that lightning was useless against Ning Chuan, it began to manipulate thick vines, sweeping them towards Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan gripped his sword with both hands and slashed frantically. As streaks of sword manifestation, infused with evil-warding divine lightning, flew out, the vines sweeping towards him were successively severed. Finally, when he was about 10 meters from the thunderclap hell vine, Ning Chuan's first spirit ring lit up. He swung his sword through the air, and a faint golden lightning sword manifestation, strengthened by the evil-warding divine lightning and measuring over 10 meters, directly sliced through the thick root system of the thunderclap hell vine. In an instant, the sky, which had been thick with thunderclouds and drizzling rain, suddenly became clear and cloudless. The lightning completely dissipated. Faint black light points gathered above the severed main stem of the thunderclap hell vine, forming a black spirit ring. At this moment, Lu Jiansheng walked over, looking at the corpse of the thunderclap hell vine and its spirit ring, and asked, "What kind of spirit beast is this to possess such powerful lightning energy?" Thunderclap hell vine. A cursed and powerful plant-type spirit beast. Ning Chuan didn't explain much. He walked to the side of the thunderclap hell vine's corpse, sat down, and said to Senior Lu, "Senior Lu, I'll trouble you to stand guard for me." With that, Ning Chuan directly closed his eyes and began to absorb the thunderclap hell vine's spirit ring. Lu Jiansheng did not stop him, because he had already seen too many miracles from Ning Chuan last time. He believed this time would be no exception. Chapter 114. Green bamboo bee cloud sword evolution as mysterious heaven skill channeled it. The energy from the thunderclap hell vine spirit ring was drawn into his body. In just an instant, Ning Chuan felt the powerful soul shock contained within the thunderclap hell vine spirit ring. This was a soul shock far exceeding that of an ordinary 10,000-year spirit beast. Its intensity was so great that Ning Chuan would believe it even if she were a 50,000-year-old spirit beast or more. Fortunately, his mental force had already reached the spirit saint level, and he had cultivated purple demon eye to the second realm subtlety. Plus, he had Tang Rishan as a power bank. Otherwise, he would have no choice but to transfer this soul shock to Senior Lu beside him. Even so, Ning Chuan still spent 3 full days to successfully absorb this 20,000-year thunderclap hell vine spirit ring. After absorbing the thunderclap hell vine spirit ring, Ning Chuan's aura underwent some changes. If the previous Ning Chuan had a restrained aura, like a peerless treasured sword yet to be unsheathed, then now he gave off a feeling of sharp prominence, full of aggressiveness, destructiveness, and explosive power. "Little Ning, quickly let this old man see your 4th spirit ring. You know, this is the first 10,000-year 4th ring in history." As soon as he saw Ning Chuan wake up, Senior Lu eagerly stepped forward to ask. Ning Chuan smiled slightly and said, "Anyway, when we go back, teacher and the others will also ask, so we can just show it together then." How troublesome. Perhaps because he was too eager to know Ning Chuan's newly acquired spirit ability, Senior Lu grabbed Ning Chuan's hand, wanting to fly back with him at the fastest speed, but Ning Chuan stopped him. "Wait, don't waste it." As he spoke, Ning Chuan released tens of thousands of devouring gold bugs, which began to devour the thunderclap hell vine's corpse. As the corpse was devoured, the devouring gold bugs gradually began to change. Senior Lu was surprised to find that, compared to the previous 2 times, some of these devouring gold bugs had already started to turn into 3 colors: gold, silver, and gray. This was one more color than the previous 2 of gold and silver. This was naturally Ning Chuan's doing. For the past 6 months, Ning Chuan had almost constantly fed the devouring gold bugs the strange flowers and plants from the ice and fire yin-yang well, excluding the immortal herbs. Thus, the devouring gold bugs grew so rapidly. After devouring the thunderclap hell vine's corpse, the devouring gold bugs with 3 colors, gold, silver, and gray, were noticeably more numerous and also became fiercer. At this moment, Senior Lu was no longer in a hurry to check Ning Chuan's azure bamboo bee cloud sword spirit's 4th spirit ring. Instead, he became particularly interested in Ning Chuan's 2nd spirit. He even considered whether he should let his daughter Louise have another son and keep that precious grandson in the family as a legacy. It took them 3 days to come here because they had to search for a suitable spirit beast for Ning Chuan, but it took them less than a day to return. The next evening, the two finally returned to Douluo Dalu's cave dwelling. When the girls learned of Ning Chuan's return, they all stopped their cultivation and came forward to greet him. Ning Chuan, quickly, show me your fourth spirit ability. As soon as she saw Ning Chuan, Ning Rongrong pounced on him, her slender hands wrapped around Ning Chuan's arm, her big eyes unblinkingly looking at Ning Chuan's handsome face, full of curiosity. In reality, what she truly cared about was not Ning Chuan's spirit ability at all. She just felt that Ning Chuan had grown taller and more handsome after acquiring his fourth spirit ring. Ning Chuan smiled faintly. It's nothing much, just an additional spirit ability to release lightning. Less nonsense, show it to this old man. Senior Lu could no longer contain his curiosity and urged him. All right. Ning Chuan's face showed a mischievous smile. Rongrong, please step aside. And also teacher Zhuqing, Ling Ling, Senior Lu, I'll trouble you to test this fourth spirit ability for me. After Ning Rongrong stepped back, Ning Chuan raised his right hand and a green light surged from his palm. A 3-foot-long azure bamboo bee cloud sword emerged from Ning Chuan's palm and was grasped in his hand. Its appearance seemed no different from before. The only difference was the light it emitted. At this moment, on top of its original green glow, the azure bamboo bee cloud sword actually produced faint golden lightning arcs, crackling and giving off a dangerous feeling. What shocked the girls the most were the 4 spirit rings that appeared simultaneously: yellow, purple, purple, black. Although they knew with high probability that Ning Chuan would choose a 10,000-year fourth spirit ring, knowing was one thing and seeing was another. So when they saw Ning Chuan's 10,000-year fourth ring, they were still very shocked. The 4 spirit rings revolved up and down around Ning Chuan's body. As soon as the spirit rings appeared, an invisible pressure instantly forced the girls, who had already retreated a sufficient distance, to retreat a few more steps. The spirit power fluctuations emanating from Ning Chuan far surpassed those of an ordinary spirit ancestor. Are you ready, Senior Lu? Ning Chuan looked at Senior Lu with a smile. Of course, make your move. Senior Lu didn't take Ning Chuan's matter to heart at all. As long as he didn't use that strange and troublesome second spirit, even if the opponent had a 10,000-year fourth ring, he was still just a spirit ancestor. He didn't even need to use his spirit. He only needed to activate his body-protecting defense to defend against all of the opponent's attacks. Ning Chuan smiled mischievously, tapped his toes on the ground, and suddenly leaped high into the air. His fourth spirit ring quietly lit up, then he held the long sword in a reverse grip, and his entire body, like a faint golden lightning bolt, swooped down towards the ground, landing 5 meters in front of Senior Lu. The moment the long sword plunged into the ground, the surroundings instantly transformed into a sea of lightning. At the same time, faint golden lightning bolts also fell from the high-altitude position Ning Chuan had just occupied, forming a lightning cage with a diameter of over 10 meters, enveloping Senior Lu entirely. It's actually an area of effect group attack skill, and its power is not bad. It seems even stronger than the 5th spirit ability released by those high-level spirit kings, and, holy crap, Senior Lu commented while using his spirit power to protect his body. At first, he didn't feel anything, but only when the faint golden lightning arcs completely covered him did he realize how terrifying this ghostly thing was. It could actually break through his titled Douluo level spirit power defense with a cultivation of only level 40-something. It seemed as if his spirit power had encountered some kind of nemesis. In fact, Senior Lu was not wrong. He did indeed encounter a nemesis. It was just that these faint golden lightning arcs, which were evil-warding divine lightning, did not restrain his spirit, but rather the spirit rings he had attached to his spirit. During the process of acquiring his 9 spirit rings, in pursuit of powerful spirit abilities, he inevitably absorbed 1 or 2 spirit rings containing evil attributes. This caused him to be tainted with evil aura, which was then restrained by the evil-warding divine lightning. With his spirit power being restrained, the faint golden lightning arcs directly struck Senior Lu, instantly electrocuting him until he was burnt crisp on the outside and tender on the inside. It was only because he was a titled Douluo. If he were a spirit saint, caught off guard and subjected to such an ordeal, he would have been electrocuted to death. Chapter 115 Sword Domain. When the lightning receded, Lu Jiansheng was already in a sorry state from the electric shock, his clothes torn, his face blackened, and his hair frizzy as if it had been permed, completely puffed up. He was even smoking, looking like a ball of yarn whose fur had exploded. Seeing this, both Louise and Ning Rongrong couldn't help but burst into laughter, and even the usually stern Yi Lingeling and Zhu Zhuqing subtly curved their lips upwards. Yi Lingeling raised her hand and released Sacred Heart Begonia to heal Lu Jiansheng. Under Lu Jiansheng's almost murderous gaze, Ning Chuan suppressed his laughter and inner excitement, explaining, "This is my fourth spirit ability, Thunder Devour. It's an area of effect skill combining range attack, and it can also be used for defense. Moreover, its attack range can expand as my strength increases." What made Ning Chuan so excited, of course, was not just that. What truly thrilled him was the awakening of a domain exclusive to the Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, the Sword Domain. It not only granted him the ability to control swords to attack enemies, but also allowed him to manifest up to 8 additional Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Swords, each possessing the same power as the original, for him to control and attack enemies. In total, there were 9 Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Swords, and each possessed the ability to release evil-warding divine lightning. After each release, it takes 1 day to re-nurture them. This means that currently, he can release evil-warding divine lightning 9 times a day. But this is only the Sword Domain's basic skill. With each subsequent evolution, the number of flying swords will double until it reaches its final stage after 3 evolutions, ultimately transforming into 72 swords. It's entirely imaginable what kind of scene it would be when 72 flying swords, each with power identical to the original, simultaneously unleash evil-warding divine lightning to attack the enemy. However, by that time, he would probably have already advanced to titled Douluo. And the Thunder Devour he had just released only consumed the evil-warding divine lightning from one of his flying swords. If Ning Chuan had released all the evil-warding divine lightning at once, it would have been enough to expand the attack radius to an astonishing degree. At this moment, Lu Jiansheng, having recovered under the healing of Sacred Heart Begonia, frowned and asked, "Your Thunder Devour shouldn't be limited to just this, right?" Ning Chuan nodded and said, "Indeed, although my Thunder Devour is only a 10,000-year spirit ability of about 20,000 years, the lightning it generates has a very significant characteristic. It counters all evil-attributed spirits. Senior Lu, although your spirit is not evil-attributed, you must have absorbed 1 or 2 evil-attributed spirit rings during the process of acquiring spirit rings. And as long as you possess any evil attribute, my lightning can counter you." Upon hearing this, everyone gasped. Because, let alone Lu Jiansheng, even among the 4 girls in pursuit of powerful spirit rings, some inevitably absorbed evil-attributed spirit rings, as often the more powerful spirit beasts possess evil attributes. The man-faced demon spider and dark demonic evil god tiger are prime examples. There's even less need to mention other spirit masters. The higher the level of the spirit master, the more likely they are to have absorbed evil-attributed spirit rings. This means that in the future, Ning Chuan's Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword will be able to counter the vast majority of spirit masters on the Douluo Continent. This is absolutely terrifying, because Ning Chuan's own strength, among spirit masters of the same level, is already ridiculously strong. "Then what is your spirit power?" It was Yi Lingeling who spoke. Her spirit power was currently at level 43, but she felt spirit power suppression from Ning Chuan, indicating that his spirit power was already above hers. "Level 45, Ning Chuan replied. Hearing this, everyone once again showed surprised expressions. Ning Chuan explained, "My spirit ring comes from an extremely powerful plant-type spirit beast, the Thunderclap Hell Vine. Although it's only about 20,000 years old, its absorption difficulty was beyond imagination." I also used this opportunity to refine a portion of the medicinal power from the Inferno Apricot Flood and Octagonal Mysterious Ice Grass to increase my level. Then he changed the subject, saying, "All right, our secluded days are over. Next, we should proceed to the next stage of cultivation. We can finally leave." Ning Rongrong was very excited, although she was happy to see herself getting stronger at a visible rate every day. After a long time, it still became a bit boring. "Where are we going next?" Zhuking looked at Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan showed a mysterious smile. "To the Great Spirit Arena for team spirit battles. But even with Senior Louise, there are only 5 of us. We can't just find 2 more people, and if we do, we'll have to face Spirit King-level teams." Ning Rongrong frowned. "Teacher doesn't need to participate. The 7 of us will." Ning Chuan's 3rd spirit ring lit up, and his entire body turned a translucent green. With a flicker, 3 identical translucent green figures appeared beside Ning Chuan's main body. Unlike before, the azure bamboo bee cloud swords held by these clones were no longer transparent, but actual azure bamboo bee cloud sword spirits. They were covered in faint golden lightning arcs, emitting crackling sounds. Seeing this, the girls finally recalled that Ning Chuan's 3rd spirit ability could create physical clones with attack power, and their eyes immediately lit up. Ning Rongrong asked, "Ning Chuan, have you already reached the 4 aperture constant heart?" Subscribe for more novel audiobooks books like Thumbs Up Comment Speech Balloon, share Bell Infinite novel audio under the surprised gazes of the girls. Ning Chuan's main body took out 4 identical black robes from his spirit tool and put them on. "Yes, I've already cultivated to that point, I just haven't had a chance to use it. Now, this makes 7 of us. Teacher, you can be our team leader." "Leave it to me," Louise said with a smile, and the other 3 girls also smiled. Lu Jiansheng, however, seemed to have seen something in Ning Chuan's previous smile and transmitted a message, asking, "Ning Chuan, your goal isn't just spirit battles, is it?" "Nothing can be hidden from Senior, it seems. I plan to take them to the Great Spirit Arena for life and death battles." Ning Chuan answered frankly. Hearing this, Lu Jiansheng didn't show too much surprise. After all, spirit masters who haven't stained their hands with blood are always just flowers in a greenhouse. Early the next morning, everyone simply packed up, and all preparations were complete. Ning Chuan went to check on Yin. Seeing that she had woken up but was still a bit weak, he fed her some more blood before leading everyone away. To avoid meeting acquaintances, Ning Chuan did not take them to Heaven-Du City for spirit battles, but instead went to Last City, the closest major city to Heaven-Du City. Upon entering the city, Ning Chuan first treated everyone to a luxurious meal. This was no small surprise for the girls who had lived in the deep mountains for half a year. Everyone had a very happy dinner that night. Then, the spirit battle that evening was also an easy victory. 7 days passed like this. Everyone cultivated during the day, fought spirit battles in the evening, and meditated at night. Chapter 116. Life and death battle. However, when they entered the last Great Spirit Arena again and saw the opponent's information sent by Louise, they were all dumbfounded. Fierce Leopard Battle Team. Captain, Zhang Myro Spirit, Fierce Leopard Level 45 Attack System Soul Grandmaster, Vice Captain. All members are above Level 41, a Silver Soul Team. This was not the most crucial part. The most crucial part was the 3 blood-red characters on the side. Life and death match. The moment they saw these 3 words, not only Zhu Zhuking, Yi Lingeling, and Ning Rongrong, but even Louise, who was the team leader, couldn't help but turn pale. Because, without exception, none of the 4 of them had ever killed anyone. "Ning Chuan, do we really have to participate in this life and death match?" Ning Rongrong swallowed hard. Even the usually calm Yi Lingeling and Zhu Zhuking's faces turned somewhat pale at this moment. "Don't worry, I will protect you all, and you don't need to make a move this time. Just leave everything to me." Ning Chuan had a mischievous smile on his face. He planned to cripple 4 and kill 3 of the Fierce Leopard Battle Team, leaving the remaining 3 for them to deal with. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhu Zhuking stood out stubbornly. "No, I want to do it myself." "And so do we." Following closely, Yi Lingeling and Ning Rongrong also stepped forward. "Good." Ning Chuan said. Zhuking, this time you can fully unleash your external spirit bone. Rongrong, Lingaling, you two are responsible for support. I'll leave 2 heads for you to harvest later. As for Senior Lu, I'll trouble him to help place a bet. Ning Chuan pulled out a gold card from his spirit tool, containing his savings from these years, nearly 100,000 gold coins. Lu Jiansheng was speechless. At a time like this, he was still so carefree. However, earning money is always good. No one believes they have too much money. Last Great Spirit Arena. Today's Central Main Spirit Arena was exceptionally lively. This was due to the rare appearance of a Spirit Ancestor-level life and death match. This immediately attracted the curiosity of a large number of nobles in La City. Even the wealthy people around La City were drawn in. Fierce Leopard Battle Team. All members are above level 41. Captain, Zhang Myro, Spirit Fierce Leopard, level 45 Attack System Soul Grandmaster. King Zhu Battle Team. Except for the captain and vice-captain, the other 5 members were only close to the Spirit Ancestor realm and had not yet reached level 40. The difference in spirit power between the 2 sides was obvious at a glance. Therefore, the odds offered were at 2 extremes. One paid 1, and the other paid 10. Soon, the odds changed again because an unknown person directly bought 500,000 gold coins on King Zhu Battle Team to win, directly dropping the odds from 10 to 1 to 1 to 5, a full 2-fold decrease. Soon, led by the staff, the members of the 2 battle teams ascended the spirit arena. The King Zhu Battle Team consisted of 7 mysterious black-robed figures, completely covered from head to toe. Aside from vaguely being able to tell that there were 4 males and 3 females, nothing else was known. These 4 men were naturally Ning Chuan and his 3 clones in disguise. The names registered in the Great Spirit Arena were Han Yi, Han Han San and Han Si, respectively. Yi Lingaling, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuking were Han Wu, Han Liu and Han Kai. The Fierce Leopard Battle Team, on the other hand, consisted of 7 pure beast spirit masters. Besides the captain, Zhang Myro, whose spirit was the mutated fierce leopard, the spirits of the other 6 were lion, tiger, black bear, hyena, wolf and fox, respectively. Their spirits were not considered excellent, but they were not bad either, belonging to the upper middle class of beast spirits. And those who could participate in a life and death match were naturally not benevolent individuals. Their captain's spirit was the fierce leopard, and he himself was cruel and tyrannical, always known as the Fierce Leopard Battle Team. Because they often crippled or even killed opponents, no one was willing to fight them in the spirit arena, which led them to this life and death match arena. Even the host didn't want to get close to them. After announcing the 2 sides as usual, he had already retreated from the spirit arena. Team Spirit Battle, Life and Death Match, King Zhu Battle Team versus Fierce Leopard Battle Team, Spirit Battle begins. Almost at the same time the host below the stage began, the 7 members of the Fierce Leopard Battle Team had already completed their spirit possession. Their spirit ring configurations included white, yellow, yellow, purple and yellow, 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 purple, but none had the optimal spirit ring configuration. However, lacking the optimal spirit ring configuration did not mean their combat power was weak. Because in this never-ending life and death match, those with weak combat power had already met their demise. So the moment they summoned their spirits, their 4 spirit rings lit up simultaneously, attempting to go all out from the start and catch the 7 members of the King Zhu Battle Team off guard. However, their calculations were clearly aimed at the wrong target. Almost the moment they summoned their spirits, Ning Chuan's side had already moved. First was Ning Chuan. Almost as soon as the opponent's spirit rings lit up, he had already moved. He stepped with Ghost Shadow Perplexing Track, using one mind for 4 purposes. It seemed like just one swift stride, and he had already crossed paths with Zhang Myro, the strongest member of the Fierce Leopard Battle Team. Immediately after, his 3 clones also passed through the bodies of the lion, tiger and black bear soul grandmasters. Zhu Zhuking's speed was even faster than Ning Chuan's 3 clones, second only to Ning Chuan's main body. After spirit possession, she directly summoned her Black Widow external soul bone, piercing the hyena spirit soul grandmaster who charged at her. As for Ning Rongrong and Yilingaling, they did not summon their spirits. Instead, as the wolf and fox spirits possessed their respective users, they threw a sky full of hidden weapons. These hidden weapons were specially crafted for them by Lu Jiansheng over the past few days, and their material itself was nothing special. However, they were coated with the corrosive venom of the 8 spider lances. The 7 members of the fierce leopard battle team, still under the momentum of their charge, continued to rush forward for several meters. Soon, their bodies stopped obeying them. Strange, how can I see my own back? Such a question arose in the minds of Zhang Myro and the 3 soul grandmasters with lion, tiger, and black bear spirits, and this was their last conscious thought in this world. Because Ning Chuan's sword was too fast, so fast that they barely felt any pain. The hyena spirit master also felt no pain. The moment he was pierced through the heart by the Black Widow external soul bone, his body didn't even have time to transmit pain signals before the neurotoxin attached to it completely paralyzed his body, and then he died with a look of disbelief. The Wolf Spirit Master and Fox Spirit Master did not die as quickly as the previous 5, because Yilingaling and Ning Rongrong used technique-based hidden weapons, so the power was not very great. In fact, it only grazed their skin a little. But the highly corrosive venom of the 8 spider lances attached to them was extremely potent, so they almost watched their skin rot away at a visible speed. By the time they reacted, it was already too late to turn the tide. Not only did the captain and 4 team members lose their heads, but 1 team member was also pierced through the heart. The remaining 2 were also poisoned and slowly collapsed on the path they had been charging. Seeing this scene, the entire audience was stunned. No one had expected that this spirit battle would be such a one-sided affair. Chapter 117, the Soul Master competition is approaching. One wave had not settled before another rose. The next moment, something even more astonishing happened. The captain of the Qingzhou battle team actually spoke to his 2 teammates, Han Wu and Han Liu, saying, "Give them a quick end." Yilingaling and Ning Rongrong suppressed their inner discomfort, each pulling out a gleaming blade from their black robe sleeves and slashing across the 2 men's necks. Just like that, the last 2 members of the fierce leopard battle team also perished. The fierce leopard battle team was completely annihilated, and the Qingzhou battle team emerged victorious. In the VIP room, Louise's beautiful eyes were wide with shock, while Lu Jiansheng calmly said, "Ning Chuan should be fine." From his demeanor, it's clear this isn't his first life and death battle, but those 3 little girls are killing for the first time. Their psychological resilience isn't that strong. "Then I'll go comfort the others," Louise said and walked out. "I'm afraid you're going to seek comfort yourself," Lu Jiansheng rolled his eyes. After all, Louise, like those 3 little girls, had never killed anyone before. Although she didn't do it herself, it was certainly hard for her. After the host announced the Qingzhou battle team's victory, everyone left the Great Spirit Arena. Ning Chuan comforted the girls all the way back to their hotel. Although dinner was still sumptuous, no one had any appetite. However, thanks to Ning Chuan's PUA, the girls quickly regained their spirits. Early the next morning, everyone left Last City. They began to fight in the next location. In this way, wherever they went, they would first engage in ordinary team spirit fights, as well as 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 spirit fights. Then they lived a fulfilling life of cultivation during the day, spirit fighting at night, and meditation in the late hours. Finally, when they were about to leave a city, they would engage in a life-and-death battle. 4 consecutive months passed, and everyone underwent a transformation. First, 3 months after the spirit fight, Ning Chuan and Ning Rongrong each advanced by 1 level, reaching level 46 and 39 respectively. Immediately after, Little Cat, Louise, and Yilingaling also advanced. Little Cat broke through to level 40. Because level 40 is the threshold for entering the Spirit Ancestor sect, this was much harder than breaking through from level 38 to 39, or even from 41 to 42. Therefore, It took Zhu Zhuqing a full 4 months. Louise and Yi Lingling broke through to level 55 and 44 respectively. If Louise's advancement, having already been level 54 more than a month before these 4 months, and taking nearly half a year to advance, was easy to explain. Then Yi Lingling, a support system spirit ancestor, only taking 4 months to advance 1 level, was quite astonishing. Just as Ning Chuan had predicted, Yi Lingling's spirit quality had indeed reached an extremely high level. Ning Chuan would even believe it if someone said Sacred Heart Begonia was a god-level spirit. Because Zhu Zhuqing needed a spirit ring after her breakthrough, early the next morning, everyone had to temporarily stop their spirit fights and head to Sunset Forest to hunt for a spirit ring. Ning Chuan also took the opportunity to check on Ah Yin. Finally, guided by Ah Yin's blue-silver domain, they found a spirit beast that even Ning Chuan had not anticipated. A branch of the dark gold dreadclaw bear, a dreadclaw bear with a cultivation age of nearly 6,000 years. This dreadclaw bear usually hid in a mountain hollow that was perpetually shrouded in mist, similar to the ice and fire yin-yang well. Except for foraging at night, it generally never showed itself. Only because Ah Yin herself was a spirit beast and extremely sensitive to spirit beast aura could she perceive it. Otherwise, another person with the blue-silver domain might not have discovered it. With everyone working together, this dreadclaw bear was subdued. Then, with the dual assistance of Ning Rongrong and Yi Lingling, Zhu Zhuqing finally managed to absorb this dreadclaw bear's spirit ring, exceeding her normal absorption limit, with great difficulty. This dreadclaw bear bestowed Zhu Zhuqing with an extremely powerful offensive skill, Netherworld Terror Claw. When this spirit ability is used, the Hell Seivet's claws instantly turn dark gold. Its hands cross, releasing a cross-shaped claw mark with immense lethality. In terms of attack power, it is no less than those 10,000-year spirit abilities, and can also be used for close-quarters combat. This greatly compensated for Zhu Zhuqing's lack of attack power as an agility attack system spirit master. After hunting the dreadclaw bear, everyone did not rush. They temporarily settled back in Old Poison's cave, cultivating while waiting for Ning Rongrong to break through to level 40, and Ning Rongrong did not disappoint everyone. 4 months later, relying on mysterious heaven skill and the residual medicinal power of the Killuo tulip within her body, she successfully broke through the level 40 bottleneck. According to the 7 treasure-glazed tile school's prescribed cultivation path, Ning Chuan chose a gem-type spirit beast close to 5,000 years old for her, the profound crystal tortoise, allowing her to gain a skill that enhanced defense. Similarly, during these 4 months, everyone else also gained different degrees of improvement. Now, everyone's cultivation levels are Lu Jiansheng, Spirit Dark Fragrance Sword, Spirit Power Level 91, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple, 5 Black. Louise, Spirit Dark Fragrance Sword, Spirit Power Level 55, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple, 1 Black. Ning Chuan, Spirit Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, Spirit Power Level 47, Spirit Ring Configuration 1 Yellow, 2 Purple, 1 Black. Spirit Ability, Sword Manifestation, Sword Shield, Sword Shadow, Thunder Devour. Yi Lingling, Spirit Sacred Heart Begonia, Spirit Power Level 45, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple. Spirit Ability, Fixed Spirit Abilities. Area of Effect Healing, Area of Effect Amplification, Area of Effect Immunity to all poisons, Suppression of evil attribute spirits. Subscribe for more novel audiobooks books like Thumbs Up Comment Speech Balloon, Share Bell Infinite Novel Audio Ning Rongrong. Spirit 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, Spirit Power Level 41, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple. Spirit Ability, Strength Amplification, Speed Amplification, Spirit Power Amplification, Defense Amplification. Zhu Zhuqing, Spirit Hell Seivet, Spirit Power Level 42, Spirit Ring Configuration 2 Yellow, 2 Purple. Spirit Ability, Hell Rush Stab, Netherworld 100 Claws, Netherworld Shadow Transformation, Netherworld Terror Claw. Except for Louise, who was Ning Chuan's teacher, and Lu Jiansheng, who had already advanced to title Douluo. Everyone else had broken through to Spirit Ancestor. Especially Ning Chuan, who reached level 47 at less than 14 years old. At this point, less than 5 months remained until the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament, and nearly a year and a half had passed since everyone left Heavendew Royal Academy. Everyone also left Sunset Forest again and continued their spirit fights. After all, merely obtaining spirit ring skills was far from enough. They still needed to learn how to skillfully apply them in battle. Just as Ning Chuan and his group were heading out of Sunset Forest, the large training ground of Heavendew Royal Academy presented a different scene. At the center of the training ground, Shrek and the original Royal Fight members, excluding Yi Lingeling and Dugu Yan, who had already died, stood in a line. Dai Mubai, Oscar, Tang San, Ma Hongjun, and Zyro Wu stood prominently on the left side, followed by Yu Tianheng, Shimo, Yu Feng, and Oslo standing on the right side. Chapter 118: Shrek and Huangdu's current situation, because Shrek was missing Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing. The Royal Fight Team was missing Dugu Yan and Yi Lingeling. Therefore, for the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament, under the mediation of Qin Ming and Flender, the Royal Fight Team and the Shrek Team participated in group Soul Master competitions almost together during the year and a half that Ning Chuan was away. And because Yu Tianheng was Yu Zhaorogang's nephew and their relationship was good, Yu Tianheng had already been persuaded and decided to join the Shrek team. Without a captain, the vice-captain's fate was unknown, and the auxiliary spirit masters had gone out for experience. In this way, the Royal Fight Team was basically in name only. At Flender's strong request, and Qin Ming's vigorous mediation, although this team would participate in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament more than 4 months later under the name of Heavendew Royal Academy, the team name would be prefixed with Shrek Team. Furthermore, Dai Mubai and the other 5, along with the Shrek teachers, would still identify themselves as Shrek Academy at the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament. As they put it, they were only nominally affiliated with Heavendew Royal Academy, just helping them play the competition. This undoubtedly caused dissatisfaction among the remaining Royal Fight members, but what could they do? Not to mention that Qin Ming, the team leader, was so close to Shrek that they were practically inseparable. Tang San's teacher was Yu Tianheng's uncle, and Yu Tianheng simply couldn't refuse Yu Zhaorogang's request. Then there was the fact that they had previously lost to the Shrek team. The most important, and also the most crucial, point was that the Education Committee wanted Heavendew Royal Academy to get rid of the label of Heavendew Empire's #1 Spirit Master Academy in name. But lacking the strength of a #1 academy at the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament, they were almost obsessed with the idea. When Yu Tianheng voluntarily chose to join the Shrek team, they actually agreed to Shrek's unreasonable request, which was truly speechless. However, it was also strange. Tang San's father was Clear Sky Douluo Tang Hao, and it was widely rumored that Poison Douluo Dugu Bo had died at Clear Sky Douluo's hands. Initially, when Yu Tianheng learned that Dugu Bo had been killed and Dugu Yan was missing, he once wanted to find Tang San to demand an explanation for his girlfriend. It wasn't long before, under Yu Zhaorogang's motivational talk, he let go of his prejudice against Tang San, which made everyone feel that Yu Tianheng was very unfamiliar. In addition, over the past year and a half, Yu Zhaorogang had been dedicated to building a team exclusively for Tang San, causing the Royal Fight Team and even the other members of Shrek to become mere backdrops for Tang San. Everything revolved around Tang San. They estimated in their hearts that even if the missing Dugu Yan, plus Ning Chuan, Yi Lingeling, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong, who had gone out for experience, returned, this Royal Fight Team would probably never return to its former state. At this moment, the strength of the members of this so-called Shrek team was Dai Mubai, Spirit White Tiger, 40th level attack system battle Soul Grandmaster, Oscar, Spirit Sausage, 34th Level Food System Tools Spirit Master. Tang San, Spirit Blue Silver Grass, 39th Level Control System Battle Soul Grandmaster. Ma Hongjun, Spirit Evil Fire Phoenix, 32nd Level Attack System Battle Soul Grandmaster. Zyro Wu, Spirit Soft Bones Rabbit, 40th Level Attack System Battle Soul Grandmaster. Yu Tianheng, Spirit Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, 42nd Level Attack System Spirit Ancestor. Shimo, Spirit Xuanwu Gui Black Tortoise, 40th Level Defensive Battle Soul Grandmaster. Shimo, Spirit Xuanwu Gui Black Tortoise, 39th Level Defensive Battle Soul Grandmaster. Yu Feng, Spirit Wind Chime Bird, 38th Level Agility Attack System Battle Soul Grandmaster. Oslo, Spirit Ghost Leopard, 38th Level Agility Attack System Battle Soul Grandmaster. In the early morning, the sun shone upon the earth. Yu Xiaogang stood in the center of the training ground with his hands behind his back, looking at the 10 students lined up in front of him. A rare look of satisfaction appeared on his rigid old face. Very good. Following Tianheng, Mubai, Zyro Wu, and Shimo have also broken through to level 40. In this way, our Shrek will soon have 4 spirit ancestors. Such a lineup, even in previous Soul Master competitions, would be top tier. Coupled with Little San and Mubai's martial soul fusion skill, we will definitely achieve sufficiently dazzling results in the future Soul Master competition. Little San, Shimo, both of you are level 39. There is still some time until the Soul Master competition, so try your best to break through during this period. The same goes for Oslo, Yu Feng, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun. Yes, the Shrek members were full of confidence, while the Royal Fight team, except for Yu Tianheng, were all listless. Yu Xiaogang had long been accustomed to this, as, apart from his disciple Tang San, everyone else was merely a backdrop. Even his nephew Yu Tianheng and the other Shrek members were no exception. He cast an indifferent gaze over everyone and said, "Now we will begin the final stage of training before the Soul Master competition starts." Upon hearing this, even the usually honest and simple Shi brothers couldn't help but speak. Shimo eagerly said, "Wait, Grandmaster, I have already broken through to level 40, shouldn't I go hunt for a spirit ring?" Yu Xiaogang frowned. According to my research, even if a spirit master doesn't acquire a spirit ring after reaching level 40, they can still improve their strength by continuing to cultivate. Remember, you are a whole. It's not too late to hunt for spirit rings together when Little San and Shimo break through to level 40. Upon hearing this, Shimo instantly fell silent. Tang San was one thing, but Shimo was his own younger brother. He couldn't possibly say that he and the other person were not a whole. However, his silence did not mean Zyro Wu would remain silent. "Grandmaster, I think it's better for us to go hunt for spirit rings." Although it's true that even without acquiring a spirit ring, one can continue to cultivate, and the spirit power cultivated before will be fed back after acquiring the spirit ring. But the cultivation speed of a 41st level spirit ancestor and a 40th level quasi-spirit ancestor are two different things. For example, if a 41st level spirit ancestor can cultivate 10 units of spirit power per day, then a 40th level quasi-spirit ancestor can only cultivate 9, or even 8 or 7, units of spirit power, which invisibly delays our cultivation speed. Ever since Ning Chuan left, Zyro Wu had desperately worked to improve herself. Coupled with the auxiliary cultivation of Yearning Heartbroken Red and Mysterious Heaven skill, Zyro Wu was able to break through to level 40 nearly half a year earlier than in the original novel, without consuming any immortal herb. Now that she could finally acquire a spirit ring, she didn't want to just wait. Yu Xiaogang's brows furrowed even more tightly, forming a river character. "Who told you this?" Zyro Wu didn't answer, merely looking at Yu Xiaogang with an indifferent gaze. But even without her saying anything, the Shrek members could guess who had told her. For a moment, everyone fell silent. Even Dai Mubai, who was most disgusted and hostile towards Ning Chuan among Shrek, hesitated and said, Grandmaster, how about we go hunt for spirit rings first?" Anyway, Heaven Du Royal Academy is very close to Sunset Forest. Chapter 119 returned to Tiandu Royal Academy after all. It concerned him, and Dai Mubai was still thinking of relying on everyone to help him defeat the Star Luo Empire's guaranteed entry team, the team Dai Weisi was on. In the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament half a year later, therefore the faster everyone's strength improved, the better. This. Yu Xiaogang subconsciously looked at Tang San, a fleeting look of helplessness in his eyes. Tang San took a deep breath and said, Xiao Wu and Mubai, regarding the conclusion that the cultivation speed at 41 ranks is faster than at 40 ranks, it's purely baseless. That person fabricated it, and it has never been verified. Besides, I'll break through to 40 ranks in 2 or 3 months at most. Are you really that short on a few days? If it were in the past, he definitely wouldn't have spoken up to excuse Yu Xiaogang. After all, the Grandmaster had harmed him so terribly, so much so that even now he had diarrhea every few days. But Xiao Wu still had Ning Chuan in her heart, and this was definitely not something he wanted to see, so even if Yu Xiaogang was wrong, he had to say he was right. Besides, once he broke through to 40 ranks, they would go out together to acquire a spirit ring. He wouldn't lose anything, right? After hearing Tang San's words, what else could Dai Mubai and Xiao Wu say? The former needed Tang San's help to defeat Dai Weisi, and the latter needed to maintain her persona as a good younger sister in front of Tang San. Yu Xiaogang, on the other hand, was so moved by Tang San's words that he nearly shed tears of old age. He felt that his efforts over the past year and more had finally not been in vain. His most outstanding disciple, who possessed twin spirits, had finally, once again, upheld his teacher's reputation and authority in front of outsiders. In fact, without the immortal herb, trying to break through the 40-rank bottleneck by relying solely on mysterious heaven's skill was much more difficult than Tang San had imagined. Originally, he had planned to break through in 3 months at most, but this time it took a full 4 months and more, just 10 days before the Soul Master competition. Tang San barely managed to break through. By this time, Shimo had already broken through to 40 ranks a few days earlier. After all, he had cultivated for much longer than Tang San and had been stuck at 39 ranks for over half a year. To celebrate this great day, and also to avoid a repeat of what happened in the Stardew Great Forest last time, Flender decided to personally lead the team, accompanied by the 4 teachers, Zhao Wuji, Qin Ming, Lu Qibin and Lai Yusong, and also brought along Yu Xiaogang, the controversial Grandmaster. Plus 10 students, a group of 16 people, they grandly left the large training ground normally used for assembly and cultivation and headed towards Sunset Forest. And just as they set off, 5 people arrived at the foot of the mountain where Heavendew Royal Academy was located. 1 male and 4 females. They looked very young. The leading young woman was slightly older but looked no more than 20 years old at most. The man walking beside her and the 3 women following behind them looked much younger, no more than 18 years old at most. The leading man was a full 1.86 meters tall, with broad shoulders, a well-proportioned body, long legs, a handsome face, and an extraordinary temperament. The woman standing with him had long pink hair, fair skin, a beautiful face and a graceful figure, exuding endless charm with every smile and frown. In comparison, the 3 women standing behind them, although not as graceful in figure and temperament as the pink-haired woman, had even more outstanding looks. Especially the big-eyed beauty with long golden hair. Even with 2 equally stunning beauties standing beside her, she was still so eye-catching. And these 5 people were none other than Ning Chuan, Louise, Yi Lingeling, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong, who had finished nearly 2 years of training and returned to Heavendew Royal Academy to prepare for the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament 10 days later. Looking at the large mountain where Heavendew Royal Academy was located, Ning Rongrong sighed, time really flies. In the blink of an eye, 2 years have passed. To be precise, it's 1 year, 10 months and 7 days. Zhu Zhuqing didn't speak much, but beneath her cold facade, a hint of excitement gleamed in her beautiful big eyes. It made sense. In less than 2 years, everyone's strength had undergone earth-shattering changes. Now, returning to Heavendew Royal Academy, even though they had only stayed at Heavendew Royal Academy for a little over 2 months, and Ning Chuan for only 1 month. But there was a strong sense of returning home in glory. This was a temptation no one could refuse, not even the usually cold little cat. There was no need to mention the others, because no one could be completely indifferent to fame and fortune. Those who can be completely indifferent either already possess it or are not human. Ning Chuan turned back and jokingly looked at Zhu Zhuqing. "Zhuqing, you remember things really clearly." Zhu Zhuqing's cheeks flushed, and then she heard Yi Lingling next to her say, "Zhuqing doesn't remember clearly, she just remembers every single day she spent with you." Ever since her spirit evolved into Sacred Heart Begonia, completely resolving the 9-Heart Begonia spirit's curse, the smiles on Yi Lingling's face had visibly increased. Now, facing Zhu Zhuqing, a girl with a similar personality to hers, she couldn't help but start teasing her. "Oh, so that's how it is." Ning Rongrong didn't forget to chime in from the side. This made Zhu Zhuqing's face flush even more. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Louise came to her rescue. "All right, you two, don't bully Zhuqing. You know she's thin-skinned." "Who said Zhuqing is thin-skinned?" "I even saw her kneeling in front of Ning Chuan helping him that time," Ning Rongrong retorted, but as soon as the words left her mouth, she regretted it. Because after she was caught that time, Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuqing, in order to make her keep the secret, also pulled her down to kneel. She was forced to do the same thing as Zhu Zhuqing. Helping her what? Louise showed a surprised look. Yi Lingling also looked over curiously. Ning Chuan and Zhu Zhuqing, on the other hand, showed dangerous smiles under the gaze of the four. Ning Rongrong quickly corrected herself. Kneeling on one knee in front of Ning Chuan and using her hand to measure his waist and pants size, preparing to customize pants for him. "How shameless, yes, that's right, Ning Chuan." As the group was talking, a clear, familiar voice came from ahead. Everyone looked over simultaneously, only to see the Shrek and Royal Fight groups walking grandly towards them. The one speaking was Zyro Wu. With her pink top, pink pants, and long hair cascading down to her hips, Zyro Wu had also grown up in the past 2 years. Although she hadn't developed as maturely as Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing, because she hadn't yet condensed her 4th spirit ring, but she had already grown into a pretty little beauty with high looks. Chapter 120, The Shrek People Doubting Life. The others also noticed Ning Chuan and the 5, and seeing them return, everyone from Shrek showed quite complex expressions. Among them, Tang San immediately shielded Zyro Wu, fearing that Ning Chuan would get involved with Zyro Wu again. Compared to Shrek, Royal Fight was much more natural, especially the Shi brothers, Yu Feng and Oslo. Seeing Ning Chuan and the others, they looked as if they had seen family. Indeed, when Ning Chuan and the others looked over, the 4 of them ran towards them. "Ning Chuan and Zhuqing, Rongrong, it really is you all. Where's Yi Lingling? Why didn't she come with you?" Yu Feng, the most outgoing of the 4, asked. While speaking, he didn't forget to glance at Louise and Yi Lingling, who had transformed into a golden-haired, big-eyed beauty, secretly giving Ning Chuan a thumbs up in his heart. As expected of Ning Chuan, not only did he abduct Yi Lingling, but he also brought back 2 more beauties this time. "Am I not right here?" Yi Lingling stood beside Ning Chuan, a sweet smile, unlike any she had before, appearing on her beautiful ethereal face. This smile was enough to topple cities and nations. It instantly stunned everyone. However, after a brief moment of stupefaction came shock. "You are Yi Lingling." Yu Feng, Oslo, and the Shi brothers all opened their mouths in astonishment, their faces filled with disbelief. Not to mention them, even Yu Tianheng, Qin Ming, and the Shrek crowd who had followed them all showed shocked expressions. Yu Tianheng and Qin Ming, of course, knew Yi Lingling inside and out. The Shrek crowd was not familiar with Yi Lingling, but they had fought against her in the arena, and they had also seen Yi Lingling when she left with Ning Chuan. They never expected that after a trip with Ning Chuan, she would transform into an epic beauty. If not for the faint outlines and familiarity they could still discern from her brows, they would have thought she was a different person entirely. "Of course." Yi Lingling nodded slightly. Hearing this, everyone was still somewhat incredulous. Yu Tianheng stepped forward and asked, "But how did you become like this?" Everyone else also cast curious glances. Yi Lingling glanced at Ning Chuan, a faint blush flashing across her beautiful face. "It's nothing, just some improvements gained during my training, which is why I look like this." At this moment, Yu Xiaogang spoke up. He directly stepped forward, showing off his so-called theoretical knowledge. A spirit master's appearance is closely related to their spirit. Your spirit must have undergone a mutation during your training, right? That's none of Grandmaster's concern. Ning Chuan, Ning Rongrong, and Zhu Zhuqing had no good feelings for Yu Xiaogang, and Yi Lingling naturally wouldn't either. Especially after learning that Tang San had suffered from the spirit side effect of diarrhea due to Yu Xiaogang's teachings. In Yi Lingling's eyes, the other party was nothing more than a self-righteous swindler. It was just that the other members of Royal Fight were not present when Ning Chuan exposed Yu Xiaogang. Otherwise, even with Qin Ming, the leading teacher, mediating the Shi brothers, Oslo and Yu Feng would not have paid any heed to Yu Xiaogang. Yi Lingling looked at Yu Tianheng and said, "Has Du Guyan not returned yet?" "No, besides Poison Douluo's former residence, I've searched everywhere he could possibly have gone. There's no news of him, and Prince Yu Xing has already had people search that place as well." Yu Tianheng sighed helplessly. Yi Lingling nodded, then turned her gaze to Tang San, who was blocking Xiao Wu, and asked somewhat angrily, "What's going on here again? Du Guyan's life or death is unknown, yet this guy is with the person who killed his girlfriend's grandfather. Does he not know what shame is?" Flender stepped forward and said, "Regarding Poison Douluo and Du Guyan, Clear Sky Douluo personally clarified the matter over a year ago." Qin Ming echoed, "Dean Flender is right." Tian Heng has now joined the Shrek team and is preparing to participate in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament 10 days from now. Yi Lingling and Ning Chuan, Rongrong, Zhuqing, do you have any plans for the future? The four did not answer Qin Ming, who was acting like a lapdog in front of Flender, but instead looked at the Shi brothers, Yu Feng and Oslo. "You all joined the Shrek team too." "We haven't." If they were under the name of the Heavendu Royal Academy team, then fine, but they are using the Heavendu Royal Academy as a pretense to compete under the name of Shrek Academy. The four directly denied it. In reality, they had long been dissatisfied with Qin Ming's actions. It was just that Yu Tianheng, as the captain, had joined Shrek, and without their backbone, they could only muddle through. Now that the strongest person in Royal Fight, Ning Chuan, had returned, they naturally no longer wished to compete under the name of the Shrek team. "All right then, I'm just about to reorganize the Royal Fight team to participate in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament. This is my teacher, Louise. I invited her here to serve as the leading teacher. You all come with me to see the education committee." Ning Chuan introduced Louise to the four. "Okay," Shi Mo and the other three agreed without hesitation. Seeing them about to leave with Ning Chuan, Yu Xiaogang immediately became anxious. "Wait, Shi Mo, aren't you going to acquire your fourth spirit ring?" Yu Feng and Oslo aside, it was important to know that Shi Mo and Shi Mo, these two quasi-spirit ancestors, were crucial to Shrek's ability to achieve excellent results, or even win the championship. They were the backbone of the Shrek team. Without them, Shrek's overall strength would undoubtedly be greatly diminished. Acquiring a spirit ring can be done anytime. "Grandmaster, you should continue hunting for a poison attribute spirit ring for your disciple." After speaking, Ning Chuan directly led the four girls, along with the Shi brothers, Oslo and Yu Feng, 8 people in total, towards the Heavendu Royal Academy Committee. Watching the 9 figures walk away, the faces of the Shrek crowd immediately fell. Yu Xiaogang was so angry that he glared at Flender and said, "Flender, look, just look, these are the good students you've taken in." Flender still thought Ning Chuan was unwilling to join because he had been threatened by Tang Rishan before, and sighed, saying, "We can't blame him for this." "Let's go." Zhao Wuji and the other Shrek teachers also showed understanding expressions. Qin Ming, on the other hand, showed a look of regret. "What a pity." If Ning Chuan and the others had joined, then winning the championship of the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament would have been a given. Yu Xirogang looked at his nephew Yu Tianheng. Tianheng, do you think you could? Before he could finish his sentence, Yu Tianheng directly shook his head and said, Uncle, Yu Feng and the others all have their own pursuits, and to be honest, the only reason I was willing to join Shrek this time was because of you. This has already gone against my original intentions. Then he looked at Qin Ming again, and Teacher Qin Ming, during this time, you have indeed been overly biased towards the Shrek team members. Yu Feng and the others leaving also has something to do with that. Chapter 121 New Royal Fighting Team. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming, who had initially looked regretful, suddenly became bewildered. He looked at Ning Chuan and the others walking away, then at the Shrek group, and couldn't help but start doubting his life. He had only wanted them to win the championship in the All-Continent Advanced Spirit Master Academy competition. Had he really made a mistake? Thinking of this, he fell silent for a moment, then said to Flender, Dean, after we meet the education committee, Ning Chuan and the others will definitely come out to hunt spirit rings for Shimo and Shimo together. How about we wait for them? This could be considered his compensation to the royal fight team. Good. Flender, out of guilt towards Ning Chuan, also agreed. Upon hearing this, Zyro Wu's heart was filled with excitement, while the moods of Tang San, Dai Mubai, Oscar and Ma Hongjun were incredibly complex. On the other side, Ning Chuan and his group went directly to the Heavendu Royal Academy's committee. Learning that Ning Chuan and the 4 who had been out training had returned, the education committee were very happy and personally met them. They were all very shocked to learn that the blonde girl accompanying Ning Chuan was actually Yi Lingaling. Ning Chuan, on the other hand, directly stated his purpose. Education Committee, this is my teacher Louise. Her spirit is Dark Fragrant Sword. She is 34 years old this year and is a level 56 Agility Attack System Spirit King. I invited her here to serve as the team leader teacher and to reorganize the Royal Fight Team. Originally, Ning Chuan had also wanted to call Lu Jiansheng over, but as the patriarch of a reclusive family, he represented not only himself but also the Dark Fragrance Sword family, and it was inconvenient for him to come into contact with people from the Heavendu Empire. Ning Chuan had him stay at the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. He would only come over when the Soul Master competition began, ostensibly to guide them, but in reality, Ning Chuan just wanted him to act as a bodyguard for a period of time. Louise also greeted them, her tone calm yet respectful. Louise greets the Education Committee, 34 years old, level 56. She was already considered a rare genius, and she was also Ning Chuan's teacher, which made the Education Committee value Louise even more. Chief Committee member Grandmaster Meng Shenji laughed heartily and stepped forward. Master Louise, there's no need to be so polite. It is an honor for our academy to have such an excellent spirit master as Master Louise personally guide us. I am Grandmaster Meng Shenji, Chief of the Committee. My spirit is Black Demon, an 86th level control system battle spirit Douluo. This is the Vice Chief of the Academy Committee, Spirit Douluo by Baoshan. His spirit is Heaven Star Furnace, an 85th level defense system battle spirit Douluo. And this is the third Chief of the Committee, Spirit Douluo Jilin. His spirit is Heavenly Green Vine, an 83rd level control system tool spirit Douluo. As he spoke, he introduced the other 2 committee members to Louise. After some pleasantries, Grandmaster Meng Shenji finally got to the point, saying, regarding your reorganization of the Royal Fight Team, we agree. It's a bit embarrassing to say, but ever since Poison Douluo had an incident, Royal Fight Vice Captain Dugu Yan went missing, and the 3 excellent members Yi Lingaling, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ning Rongrong went out to train with Ning Chuan. Yu Tianheng joined the Shrek team and will participate in the competition in 10 days as the Heavendu Royal Academy's vice-captain. Now that you have returned, it has resolved our urgent need. Otherwise, we really wouldn't know who would represent the Heavendu Empire's recommended team in the competition. After all, Yu Tianheng is a disciple of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, and Tang San's father from the Shrek team is Clear Sky Douluo, so we cannot force them to do anything. Ning Chuan, Zhuking, Rongrong, and Lingaling, can you now show me the results of your training over the past 2 years? As soon as he said this, not only the education committee, but also Yu Feng, Oslo, and the Shi brothers who had come with them all looked over, their eyes wide and unblinking. Ning Chuan and the four smiled slightly, simultaneously releasing their spirits. Ning Chuan, Spirit Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword, Level 48 Attack System Battle Spirit Ancestor. Lingaling, Spirit Sacred Heart Begonia, Level 46 Support System Tool Spirit Ancestor. Zhuking, Spirit Hell Sivet, Level 43 Agility Attack System Battle Spirit Ancestor. Ning Rongrong, Spirit 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda, Level 42 Support System Tool Spirit Ancestor. A 3-foot-long emerald green longsword appeared in Ning Chuan's hand, covered with faint golden lightning arcs. A brilliant golden begonia flower appeared in Lingaling's hand. Her entire body was enveloped in brilliant golden light, like a human sun. Zhuking's body displayed the characteristics of a hell civet. A 9-layered, 9-colored glazed miniature pagoda appeared in Ning Rongrong's hand, emitting a rich fragrance of tulips. 2 yellow and 2 purple spirit rings brilliantly flashed on the bodies of Lingaling, Zhuking, and Ning Rongrong. Ning Chuan, standing beside them, released 4 spirit rings, yellow, purple, and black, that astonished, even horrified them. Seeing this scene, whether it was the education committee or Yu Feng, Oslo, and the Shi brothers, they were all stunned. As a result, they subconsciously ignored the changes in the spirits of Ning Chuan, Lingaling, and Ning Rongrong. Their gazes were all fixed on Ning Chuan's 10,000-year 4th ring. Oslo and the Shi brothers stared unblinkingly, and Yu Feng even exclaimed directly, "A 10,000-year 4th ring, a spirit ancestor, my goodness." It was a long time before everyone finally reacted. Good. Grandmaster Meng Shenji said good 3 times in a row, which showed how shocked he was. He smiled and said to Ning Chuan and the 4, "You've all advanced to spirit ancestor. Your strength improvement is simply incredible. It seems this training has brought you much greater improvements than we imagined, especially Ning Chuan. Not only have you raised your spirit power to level 48 in such a short time, but you've also obtained a 10,000-year 4th ring. And Rongrong and Lingaling too, your spirits are now called 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda and Sacred Heart Begonia, right?" The 2 girls smiled slightly. Since the education committee would know sooner or later, there was no need to hide anything. As a spirit Douluo, over 80 years old, and a committee member of the Heaven Du Royal Academy, Grandmaster Meng Shenji had naturally heard of the superior spirits of 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda and 9 Heart Begonia. He smiled and nodded. "I never expected to see both the legendary spirits of Sacred Heart Begonia and 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda on you at the same time. If Brother Yi Rengxin and School Master Ning knew, they would probably wake up laughing in their dreams," Ning Chuan said solemnly. "I asked the education committee to keep this a secret for now, even from the Shrek team. After all, to some extent, they are our competitors. Rongrong and Lingaling will be our trump cards for the Royal Fight team in the future, and I plan to save them for the finals. Of course." The education committee exchanged smiles and nodded in unison. Immediately after, Vice Chief Committee member Bai Baoshan, who had initially approved Ning Chuan and the 4 going out for training, seemed to have thought of something and asked with some surprise. "Ning Chuan, you said you would save Rongrong and Lingaling for the finals." Chapter 122 Theoretical Master Louise Ning Chuan said, "That's right, we plan to give up that recommendation spot." The All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament is not only a place to test and display the strength of young spirit masters, but also a form of tempering. With our lineup, plus Shimo, Yu Feng, and Oslo returning to Royal Fight, we have 6 spirit ancestors and 2 spirit elders whose strength is close to level 40. Promotion is a certainty. Since we are absolutely confident in reaching the finals, why should we miss this opportunity for tempering? That's right, what you said makes a lot of sense. Bai Baoshan nodded, then looked at Grandmaster Meng Shenji and Jilin. What do you two think? Grandmaster Meng Shenji was silent for a moment, then said, half of the current royal fight team are new members. This is an opportunity to showcase the strength of our Heaven Do Royal Academy, but we still need to report to His Majesty and the Crown Prince. Jilin nodded in agreement. That is natural. With that, the matter was settled. Louise would serve as the royal fight team's lead teacher. Ning Chuan would be the captain of the royal fight team, which is the Heaven Do Royal Academy's main team. The Heaven Do Royal Academy would also dispatch a spirit saint-level teacher to protect the safety of the students. After all, in previous years, there had been cases of students mysteriously disappearing during the Soul Master competition. After leaving the committee member's office, Yu Feng eagerly asked, Ning Chuan, no, you are our captain now, so it should be Boss Ning. Boss Ning, what exactly happened to you all these past 2 years outside? You all improved so quickly. Compared to when you left, your spirit power has increased by more than 10 levels. It's simply terrifying. If I had known, I should have gone out to train with you all like Yilingaling. Upon hearing this, the Shi brothers and Oslo nodded in deep agreement. Heaven knows how suppressed they had been during these past 2 years of training with the Shrek team. It's nothing much, just experienced some hardships. As he spoke, Ning Chuan began to talk nonsense with a straight face. Well, in short, just say how dangerous it was. Like encountering life-threatening situations, it was almost a daily occurrence. This left Yu Feng and the other 3 stunned, and they all immediately abandoned the idea of going out to train with Ning Chuan, because for them, there was no absolute certainty of surviving any one of the things Ning Chuan mentioned. Improving strength was important, but life was more valuable. Yilingaling, Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing and Louise, seeing that they were fooled, all smiled in unison. It really had to be said that Ning Chuan indeed had a talent for scaring people, and although they had encountered dangers, there had never been a truly life-threatening moment. Ning Chuan skipped the previous topic. All right, Rongrong, Lingaling, you two have been away from home for a while. While there's still some time before the Soul Master competition, take another leave and quickly go home to report your safety. Grandmaster and I, along with Zhuqing, will go hunt spirit rings for Shimo and Shimo. Okay, the 2 girls did not refuse, and they indeed should go home to inform their families about the evolution of their spirits. As for the reason for the spirit evolution, Ning Chuan had already prepared it for them. It was because the 2 girls' innate talent was high enough, and after Ning Chuan carefully selected rare spirit beasts that were compatible with their respective spirits, their spirits evolved. Take Ning Rongrong, for example. She would tell Ning Fengzhai that Ning Chuan had chosen 2 gem-type spirit beasts for her consecutively, which caused her spirit to evolve. After all, before this, the 7-treasure glazed tile school had no such precedent, nor did it have a 9-level innate spirit power talent like Ning Rongrong, who chose 2 gem-type spirit rings. As for how long this lie could last, Ning Chuan didn't care. Because by that time, he would already have the strength to overturn the table. Whether it was a lie or not, it wouldn't be important to him, so the group split into 2 paths. Ning Rongrong and Yilingaling went to ask Sun Buyu for leave. Such a small matter did not require consulting the committee members. Ning Chuan, Louise, and Zhu Zhuqing, along with Yu Feng and Oslo, waited here for the spirit saint teacher arranged by the academy to set off together for Sunset Forest to hunt spirit rings for the Shi brothers. Before long, that spirit saint teacher arrived. She was a beautiful woman in palace attire who looked about 30 years old, named Mona. She was Grandmaster Meng Shenji's daughter. She inherited Grandmaster Meng Shenji's spirit, Black Demon. Although her true age was over 50, her spirit power had already reached 77 levels, and she was being groomed by Grandmaster Meng Shenji to be the next committee member. And arranging her to protect the royal fight team's safety was enough to show how much the education committee valued Ning Chuan and the others. After a simple self-introduction, everyone gradually became familiar with each other. Especially Louise and Mona, the 2 felt a sense of meeting each other too late and got along very well. The group chatted as they walked towards Sunset Forest. On the way down the mountain, they encountered the Shrek group, who had been waiting for a long time. Qin Ming obviously knew Mona. He first greeted her, then looked at Ning Chuan and the others with a bitter expression. It seems you have already discussed it with the education committee. Where are Rongrong and Lingaling? Why didn't they come out with you? They are preparing to ask for leave to go home. Is there something wrong? Ning Chuan asked expressionlessly. Qin Ming nodded heavily, then turned his gaze to Shimo, Yu Feng, and Oslo. After you left, Tian Heng told me about your situation. Previously, I was too wishful in wanting to unite Royal Fight and Shrek to achieve sufficiently brilliant results in the All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Tournament, but I overlooked your feelings. As your former lead teacher, this was my dereliction of duty, and I apologize to you all here. As he spoke, he bowed to the four of them. This made Yu Feng and the other three at a loss for what to do. Teacher Qin Ming, actually, it's nothing. We never took it to heart, and you don't need to dwell on it too much. They scratched the back of their heads, responding awkwardly. Ning Chuan couldn't help but look at Qin Ming with higher regard, saying, Teacher Qin Ming, why don't you just speak your mind? Qin Ming said earnestly. I just discussed it with the dean, and we decided to hunt spirit rings with you. Coincidentally, regarding the spirit ring choices for Mubai, Tang San, and Zyro Wu, we also want to ask you and Grandmaster Louise for your advice. Yes, now in the eyes of the Shrek group, Louise, who could educate an outstanding spirit master like Ning Chuan, was the true Grandmaster. Even Dai Mubai and Tang San, who deeply disliked Ning Chuan, had to admit that Louise truly deserved the title of Grandmaster. As for Yu Xirogang, among those present, it was probably only Flender who still considered him a Grandmaster. After all, he managed to teach a perfectly healthy spirit master like Tang San to have diarrhea every day, and it was only with the intervention of his father, Tang Hao, that the side effects were curbed. For such a person to be respected would be a ghost's doing. 125 Yu Xirogang collapses and runs away. Chapter 123 Yu Xiron collapses and runs away. Even Qin Ming himself only called Yu Xirogang Grandmaster out of respect for Flender. Teacher, what do you think? Ning Chuan looked at Louise. Seeing that Ning Chuan didn't directly refuse, Louise knew he had agreed, so she nodded and said, That's good. Sunset Forest, as one of the three major spirit beast gathering places on Douluo Continent, is extremely dangerous inside. It would naturally be best to have each other to rely on. And Ning Chuan indeed had the idea of traveling with the Shrek group. Firstly, it was because Yu Tianheng knew where Dugubo's lair was, preventing the Shrek group from accidentally stumbling into it. Even if the immortal herb and other medicinal herbs had been taken by Ning Chuan, Lu Jiansheng was still there. Ning Chuan also didn't want the Shrek group to know about that place. After all, Yin was there, and Lu Jiansheng couldn't stay there forever. Secondly, with free bodyguards, it would be a waste not to use them, and he could also observe and interfere with Tang San's fourth spirit ring, helping him to become self-isolated faster. However, speaking of Tang San, Ning Chuan thought of the cave where Yin and the blue-silver emperor right leg bone were found. Speaking of which, ever since he covered a common, withered blue-silver grass with devouring gold bugs, disguising it as a blue-silver emperor, he hadn't managed it for years. It had been consuming Ning Chuan's spirit power and mental force, which Ning Chuan then replenished from Tang Rishan, his charging treasure. Ning Chuan felt it was necessary to continue letting Old Mouse consume it. When Old Mouse brings Tang San to kneel before his mother in the future and sees Yin turned into withered grass, the scene will surely be spectacular. And so, everyone embarked on the journey to Sunset Forest to hunt for spirit rings. Grandmaster Louise, Mayan Shimo's spirits are Chuan Wu Gui Black Tortoise. What spirit beast do you think is suitable for our fourth spirit ring? First tell me about your first 3 spirit rings and spirit abilities. Our spirit rings are, along the way, Louise truly stole the show. Not only did the students respect her and consult her on spirit-related issues, but even the Shrek teachers also asked her questions. And Louise, Having spent 6 years with Ning Chuan at Noding Academy, plus 2 years of traveling, was indeed worthy of the title Grandmaster Louise in terms of theoretical knowledge. Grandmaster Louise, my disciple Ma Hongzhen's spirit is Evil Fire Phoenix, and his spirit rings and spirit abilities are. Due to the influence of the evil fire, he has been unable to fully devote himself to cultivation all these years. Do you see any solution for this? Finally, even Flender, who had always blindly advocated Yu Xiaorogang's theories, couldn't help but consult Louise about Ma Hongzhen's problem. Louise, of course, wouldn't say that an immortal herb could solve it, but she still offered her advice. Basically, tell Ma Hongzhen to stop soliciting prostitutes, and once the evil fire flared up, he should run to soak in cold water or simply stay in a place with ice and snow. As for whether he would follow it, that was none of her business. In comparison, Yu Xiaorogang, the so-called Grandmaster, was almost shunned by everyone. Aside from his nephew Yu Tianheng and his close friend Flender, who maintained their usual attitude towards him, everyone else was practically ignoring him. Even Tang San, after listening to Louise answer everyone's questions, suddenly felt a sense of enlightenment. He felt like a clown for having previously treated Yu Xiaorogang's words as truth. Most of what he had learned from Yu Xiaorogang before were merely basic theoretical knowledge, yet Yu Xiaorogang claimed to have researched them himself. Even if Yu Xiaorogang did research some things himself, they were all wrong. The 3 poison attribute spirit rings he chose were purely a waste. If he had chosen a wood attribute spirit ring with strong vitality back then, there wouldn't have been the problem of diarrhea. Not only that, he might have already broken through to spirit ancestor without having to cultivate a second spirit. How could he have been harmed so badly by Yu Xiaorogang? Thinking of this, Tang San's impression of Yu Xiaorogang plummeted even further. Finally, driven by an urgent desire to become stronger, he couldn't help but look at Louise and ask, "Grandmaster Louise, I'm sure you know that my blue-silver grass spirit has encountered problems in cultivation. In your opinion, what would be the most suitable choice for my 4th spirit ring?" It would have been fine if Tang San hadn't asked, but his question was undoubtedly the straw that broke the last bit of Yu Xiaorogang's self-esteem deep within him. "Little San Yu." He looked at Tang San in disbelief, as if he couldn't believe his eyes, finding it hard to imagine that Tang San, the disciple who had defended him, his teacher in front of everyone just a few months ago, would now in front of his own teacher. Ask someone from a junior spirit master academy how to choose his 4th spirit ring. What was this? Wasn't this a blatant slap in his face in front of everyone? But Tang San acted as if he hadn't heard Yu Xiaorogang's words, continuing to address Louise. "My blue-silver grass spirit, for its 1st spirit ring, I chose a Datra snake nearly 400 years old, which gave me a binding spirit ability. The 2nd spirit ring was a ghost vine over 600 years old, and the 3rd spirit ring was a poisonous spider of about 1900 years. Hearing Tang San ignore his words like that, Yu Xiaorogang collapsed. He completely collapsed. And so he made the same move as when Bibai Dong was threatened by Qian Zunji, who claimed she only valued his theories and was merely using him as an excuse to break up with him. This move was the same as the one he made more than 20 years ago on his wedding night with Liu Erlong, when his own uncle Yu Luomian revealed that they were cousins. He ran. Yes, that's right, he ran, without looking back. "Xiaorogang, what are you doing? Don't run." Flender, Yu Xiaorogang's good friend, chased after him immediately and left this message, "You guys go ahead, I'll go check on Xiaorogang and catch up with you later." The others looked utterly bewildered. Perhaps only Ning Chuan, Tang San, and Yu Tianheng knew why. As a transmigrator, Ning Chuan naturally knew what kind of person Yu Xiaorogang was without needing to explain much. Similarly, Tang San, having experienced the side effects of his spirit, also clearly saw Yu Xiaorogang's ugly true colors at this moment. He was purely an inferior yet arrogant good-for-nothing. The only reason he took him as a disciple was because he valued his twin spirit's talent. He wanted him to be his guinea pig to make a name for himself. Thinking back carefully, his initial judgment that he had twin spirits was purely a stroke of luck. like a blind cat stumbling upon a dead mouse. Because his innate full spirit power didn't originate from his second spirit at all, but from mysterious heaven skill, it was cultivated through mysterious heaven skill. As for Yu Tianheng, as a descendant of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, he had some understanding of what happened between Yu Xiaogang and Liu Erlong back then. Many people in the clan privately mocked Yu Xiaogang about it. They called him a good-for-nothing, a perverted coward who wanted to marry his cousin but then ran away alone. This scene was strikingly similar to the one discussed by the clan members back then, abandoning his newlywed cousin and running away. Subscribe for more novel audiobooks books like Thumbs Up Comment Speech Balloon, Share Bell Infinite Novel Audio.